Hello, everybody.
How are we all?
I'm doing well. How you going, man?
I have had 3 White Claws.
Fucking
I'm
hell.
on a Saintly, and then I've got a CC and dry no sugar next to me.
Now would be a really bad time to say I need to go have a shit.
Do you need to go have a shit?
I think I'll be right.
Are you sure? You
Yeah.
know what that you're like.
I think I'll be right. I think it's just a fart.
You know what you're like.
Yeah, that's true. I'll be right. All right, so we're going to be streaming the AFL Grand Final through AFL Evolution 2. They've just got a patch to update the AI, so it shouldn't be so pants on head retarded. I can't click off the screen now because if I do, the screen will go down. We've finally found a workaround to get this going. So it's Richmond versus the Geelong Cats.
It's the Cats versus Cats. So in this, we have turned. Hey, Reese.
Hey, Reese.
We've turned off commentary, and we're going to be doing, I guess, our version of what commentary would be. 100% going to have swearing.
Yes.
We're not going to be PG about this at all. I'm assuming I'm BT and you're Bruce because I'm the fat one.
It's going to be played at the Gabba, but it is also the grand final.
So we're actually going to do 15-minute quarters, which is the closest to 16 you can get.
What time's the game supposed to start?
It starts at. I've actually got the information right here because I thought to bring that up, and then my phone decided to want to freeze. 7:30.
7:30 start.
7:30 at the Gabba. They'd be still pretty bright. Is there twilight there?
Yeah, there is.
So go twilight. Hell yeah. What's the weather like in the Gabba going to be tomorrow? Let's have a look.
I think it's going to be raining.
I've just brought up the weather app now. So Gabba's in Brisbane.
The Brisbane. Jaryd, a bit quiet, boys. Okay, I'll just turn Jaryd up.
I'm a bit quiet.
My TV's on volume.
Brisbane City. Tomorrow it is going to be 70% chance of rain, so it's absolutely going to rain. So we've got rain.
Yep.
Thunderstorms. Shower or two, possibly a storm. Winds are 15 to 25 kilometers, so I would say it's at least a moderate wind. Or would you say 15 to 25 kilometers is it? Absolutely, they plan the rain. This isn't fucking cricket, even though I love cricket. Sunset's supposed to be 6:01 there. So would it be a nighttime game?
Yeah, it'd be nighttime.
So go nighttime, then go 7:30.
Yep. What was the weather? Sorry, what was the rain?
Rain is 2 to 6 millimeters.
So it will
70% chance of rain. So I would say at least medium rain.
Oh, we got light or heavy?
I'd go light rain. Though it rains pretty fucking hard there when it rains too, doesn't it?
They have to, unlike Marvel. Game doesn't have
a
roof.
Go medium wind, light rain.
Yep.
Injuries on, of course.
Yes. Do you want to start the score at anything specific? Give any team a handicap? Ball type.
No.
Auto.
Oh, well, I mean, you can give a team a handicap. I mean, you could. Is there a Richmond rub of the green type of handicap?
All right. I think we've got everything set up. That's pretty good to go.
The quarters in this year have been 16 minutes, so there's no 16-minute quarter choice.
We've got 15 or 20, so we're going to go 15.
I would rather. Well, 20 is normal, but we'll go 15 because that's the closest we've got.
That's right.
So this is going to go for a while.
That's right. We might have a halftime break.
Piss break and a get a drink break.
That's right. We've got it set to grand final, so I think we're ready to go.
Let's do this.
Game options, team management. Do you want to see the list of the teams?
Apparently, if you heard the bark, that's
halftime show
commentary. That's boundary commentary because that's all it is. Dribble.
We got a halftime show, Reese. We might have a halftime show.
Halftime show. It's Oh well, we can't even play music. That fucking sucks.
We'll just sing.
Oh God, we can't get pinged for that. Our singing's atrocious. Who is supposed to be halftime show this year?
It's DMAs and the guy from Wolfmother. Not even the whole Wolfmother.
It's not the whole Wolf Mother, it's just half the Wolf Mother.
It's just
Is it just his afro?
It's just the guy that sings. Tangles gets his nips out for halftime. Just one single dude. Yeah, it's
Alright, everyone start placing your bets. Who's going to win the... do they award medals in this at the end of the game?
I don't know about at the end of the game, but it will show who the player of the game is. So, all right, guys.
Which we will assume is the actual... what's the winner called? The medal of the winner?
Norm Smith.
The medal? Norm Smith medal. Let's go.
All right, so Lillian said Richmond's going to win. Reese said, woo, sports ball. All right. Welcome to the AFL Grand Final 2020 between Richmond and Geelong. We're playing at the Gabba. Shit, it is raining quite heavy for light rain.
Yes, no, like you can see it's a nighttime game. This is the first ever 7:30 nighttime game at the Gabba. Now, naturally, normally you would think that maybe there would be a non-Victorian team, but no, that's not how that works in AFL. We have to have 2 Victorian teams, and as you can see, we have the Richmond lineup, and now we've got the Geelong lineup. Who do you think is going to be the star of today?
I think with the rainy conditions today, you have to give it to Ablett. It's his last game in the AFL. He's going to retire after this. He's going to do his best to really shine today.
And as you can see now, the away team, Geelong Cats, are on their way out with their captain Joel Selwood at the front start. As you can see, he's giving the team a bit of a talk up, get them a bit excited. I reckon you're going to have to watch out for Patrick Dangerfield. He is an absolute star. As this final series, he has been playing fantastic. Boy, oh boy, wowee.
If people can let me know how the audio's going, that would be great. Here come Richmond. They got their fireworks. Geelong don't have that.
That's just because they got the good, dare to dream. They're dare to dream. I mean, anyone else's dream would be to, win a grand final, but Richmond are living that dream right now.
So this is Richmond's 3rd grand final in 4 years, I believe?
Yes. I don't know if you recall, but someone was talking about Richmond actually being able to win 3 flags by the time of 2020.
I believe that was their president.
Oh, was it their president?
There's the Premiership Cup.
Filling up with water.
All right, guys, we now
rise.
We're
going to be quiet for the Australian anthem.
Look at those guns. That is correct. No one sits for our grand national anthem.
No knees taken here, and as you can see, we've got Razor Ray, which is incorrect. But we're in the middle now for the coin toss. We've got Trent Cotchin and Joel Selwood. It is Geelong's call, and Geelong have won, and they've decided to pick the right side.
Okay, I'm just going to fix your audio really quickly, Jaryd. You're a bit quiet.
Sorry, we appear to be having technical difficulties up in the commentary box.
Everything seems to be going okay. All right, here we go for the bounce of the 2020 AFL Grand Final. They didn't even
throw it up because it's raining.
And there we go.
As
Richmond's
we go down, and the first clearance is by Dusty Martin. He's a star, isn't he?
I don't have any of the names up. That's a disappointing feature. I don't know. Is that Basher Hooley? Basher Hooley's got the ball, and he's been tackled. No prior for Basher.
There we go, Basher Hooley.
Thank you for the lurk, JMO. And the top down, Geelong's got it. Is that Dangerfield tackle to the ground?
Off the ball, but no call there. It's a little bit of a risky call. Gary Ablett
could not get hold of the ball.
Gary Ablett could not get it.
And Hooley again, that's his 2nd touch for today. A long kick to Rewalt. Didn't get it. Crumbed by, looks like Snags. No prior by Stewart.
We got the tap down now, down towards, I believe that was Rewalt.
Holding the ball.
Holding the ball. That's a little bit of, I don't know. Does it look like he had any prior there, Tangles?
I don't know. That was a bit rough there. A short kick. Knocked
That was a
down.
really terrible kick. He absolutely shanks it, and off the side of the boot for a behind for Dusty Martin.
Could have taken a little bit of time to just adjust himself to take a better kick. Dusty, you've got some long hair there.
It's a bit slippery out there. These conditions are probably going to get worse. It is the Gabba, which is known for being very sweaty, and the ball will be slipping and sliding around.
And Geelong with a clearance there from the kick out. Long run, kicks to just outside the 50, and a grab by Grimes. Good mark by Grimes.
Sort of intercept marker, as we know that Grimes is very well known for his intercept marking. Bit of a shocking kick there to a one-on-one. You would expect Tigers to take that. A few bumps off the ball and into a pack mark.
Dalhouse, beautiful
mark.
mark.
Dalhouse marking it. Fantastic contested mark.
And Hooley again, that's his third or fourth touch. He's doing fantastic this quarter. He might be on par to get a Norm Smith. He was robbed twice previously in grand finals.
I don't know about you, but that was a bit of a wasted time there, you know, with the fantastic intercept mark and then immediate turnover with Toby Nankervis, who had a fantastic game last week. Should have won, or that was a bit of a hospital handball there.
And no prior by Dangerfield there. I'd agree with that. Umpires have been pretty good so far.
So far, but you never know. This is a grand final, and they tend to keep the whistle hidden on finals.
And a handball out, and it's just been taken, but no one's actually got hold of the ball. Rowan couldn't get rid of the ball.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, you never trust a man with two first names.
Gary Rowan, not happy with that decision. And a tap down, Geelong with the ball.
Oh, what a turnover, absolute... Oh, wait for it, and Mark Bilksabs has been absolutely phenomenal in the back line this year, able to intercept it as in the full back. Passing it off, I believe that is Cameron Guthrie, who has also had a stellar year this year. I would not be surprised if he were to win the best and fairest for them this year.
Richmond again.
Terrible turnover, and it's a goal for Richmond! Josh Caddy!
Josh Caddy with the first goal of the 2020 Grand Final. A fantastic kick. Dusty's hair on fleck as always.
Razor Ray tosses up in the middle against Estavi Radigalia versus I believe that was Tom Lynch in the middle. It's a little bit strange having Tom Lynch. And can we get a quick answer? No, it is a behind. It looks like the rain and wind are going to contribute to the goal scores outside of 50 this game.
I believe that play all started from Cochin handballing it straight to the Geelong player.
I think the winning in the middle is where we're going to win it today, especially in the clearance sections. Now, Richmond are very well known for winning the clearances. I think they are up the top of the ladder when it comes to winning clearances outside of the middle. But, look, games like this, it's definitely Richmond who are going to favour this type of thing. And it was straight up kick towards the forward 50.
It's a foot race.
A bit of a chaos ball here happening, out of bounds by Dylan Grimes. I believe that's probably one of the more smarter things to do. You know, try and get out of bounds in the forward 50, reset the field, and you can see Dusty going off the field, off onto the bench.
And a tap down by Richmond, handballing it straight to Geelong, but there's 4 Richmond players all surrounding themselves. A kick by Caddy.
He's everywhere today. He's in the forward line and the back line.
Nice hands by Castagna. He's kicking back into the centre, and Dangerfield again with the ball. And kicking to no one in particular.
A bit of an interesting kick. I know that it's raining and you sort of want to get the ball forward as fast as you can.
That was out of bounds.
Interesting play there by Broad, getting the ball out. He could have absolutely tackled him and gotten holding the ball, but as you know, the umpires put the whistles away during finals.
Now here comes Hooley back on the ground. Richmond back with the ball, but hands it straight back to Geelong, who snaps around the corner. Parfitt with a goal.
Fantastic snap around the body there by Parfitt, especially in these testing conditions when it's raining.
Another throw up by the umpire. Razor Ray doing a fantastic job in the middle. Geelong with the clearance. A lot of bumping and shoving.
Clearance here. There we go. Clearance there by, I believe that was... What a fantastic mark. Straight and forward, in front. About, what would you say? That's about a 45-degree angle, not even, straight in front.
That's
about
pretty much
20 metres out.
20 metres, and he's kicked that, slotted it through. Geelong with the second goal.
Look, I would be very upset with Hawkins if he didn't get that, but, you know, he's had a bit of a rough period this finals.
And another tap down. Richmond with the ball. Dusty's just handed it straight off to Geelong. And a terrible
very un-Dusty-like.
Ablett just couldn't get anything with it. That looked high from here.
Umpires must have been having their blinders on today.
Good tackle there. Guthrie's been injured. We'll look out for that.
Guthrie's down. We're going to keep an eye on that. Medengola with the high tackle on number 9, which I believe is Broad to Astbury. Down, trying to get that to Hooley, but onto 2-on-1 there, which is a bit of a struggling kick to do. I do not know who that
That
is.
looked like Grimes to Cochin. High ball.
Just pumping it into the forward
And
50 line,
Pickett.
and Marley Pickett. Can the guy with his first grand final last year, with his first game, win it again?
That's a good kick. Has
A
it
little
got the,
short.
It's got the distance. It's a goal.
Oh.
Marlon Pickett, his first touch, and it's a goal. Scores are tied now. Language is a bit hard sometimes. It's the excitement of the grand final. Dusty with no prior. A bit of bumping and shoving. Oh, screen's gone dark. We're back.
Oh, looks like the lights went out for 2 seconds there, and they've been rectified by the boundary people.
Big bump there.
Off. I believe that was Dullhouse getting bumped there. Medengola getting tackled. No prior opportunity. The umpire will throw the ball up.
And the crowd cheers for the Pickett kick earlier.
You got to ask yourself, holding the ball, that was a bit of a risky call.
I don't know about that, umpire. That was a bit risky.
Look, so you got to think to yourself, who's going to win this game?
Look, the way it's been going, it's a very even contest so far. Richmond have been a bit... Contest, not a concert. I think if the rain continues to fall, it's going to be Richmond's game. They'll play a lot better in the sloppy conditions. I can't see the older retirement home of Geelong playing better in these conditions. But as we speak, a good play by Geelong, kicking it straight to Gary Rowan. Can't trust his name.
In the forward pocket there. It's a pretty difficult angle, especially with the weather conditions as they are. It would take a very, very good forward, but there is no one there, so it's an uncontested mark as well, which is poor defence by Richmond.
And he tricked the defenders by pointing in the opposite direction and then leading the opposite way. It's a good kick so far. It's bending. Well done. Gary Rowan with a goal and puts Geelong back in front by 6 points. You call yourself commentators.
A bit of a replay here. You would think he might hand it off to Stanley, but decides to take his own and go for the goal, which he backed himself in and was rewarded for his effort.
Well done. That was a fantastic kick. Just a standard drop punt. Nothing fancy. And slots
As you can
through.
see there was a little bit of a glitch there with the football. It decided that gravity and physics were no more and stopped right as it hit the goal line, which happens sometimes in AFL football.
Back to the centre bounce. Razor Ray throwing the ball up. Bit of hesitation from Richmond.
Stanley taps it down directly to a Richmond player, which goes to Graham Myers and is tackled for no prior.
I believe the patch for the MCG is in the middle underneath the Coles logo, so that no one can actually tell. Another kick out to nobody. It seems to be Geelong's passage of play.
But it's working for them. It's working for them. As you can see here, it's a bit of a check side off the side of the boot, and that's Parfitt's second goal, only in the first quarter.
Just sneaking that goal in. Fantastic.
Especially within these greasy conditions. You know the Gabba, it's very, very hard to pick up the ball on the run. And Stanley and then Curvis back in the middle again, passing it off. Tackle down, and Basher Hooley passing it off to, I believe...
I would say that's holding the ball, but the umpires have not called it. A lot of bumping and shoving going on. And
a high tackle by Dusty Martin. I'm surprised by that. Razor Ray giving Dusty a bit of a talking to here, reminding him that he was indeed part of that conversation.
Dusty not happy with that decision, but it didn't look like he was really listening to what Razor had to say.
Fantastic contested mark there by Paddy Dangerfield. He's probably within range here.
He's gone for it. He looks offline.
Oh, he shanked it off the side of his boot, and it is a behind.
He hasn't been that great in front of goals, Dangerfield, today.
Good, Nathan Broad playing it on.
Going along the side, along the boundary. Tapped down by Richmond.
A bit of a risky play there within their back 50.
A lot of bumping and shoving.
Oh, don't know why the defender decided not to wrap him up for a tackle.
Good mark by Short. Long kick into the inside 50. Riewoldt with a fantastic mark right in front, about 40 metres out. You think he would get this.
In these greasy, slippery conditions, it's never 100%. And as I said, it was bending back and the post.
G post comes into play.
Rewalt not looking happy with that.
You are correct. And now we go back to play. Geelong with the ball, coming out of the 50, defensive 50. Ablett with the ball, long kick.
Anyone noticed that head anywhere? Brian Myers kicking inside the goal square, hands it off to
short
number
kick.
22.
Menegola.
Straight in front again, about the same position from before from Tigers. Probably about 30, 35 out.
And looking like another shanked kick from Menegola.
The wind's definitely contributing to the goal kicking today.
The wind and the rainy conditions is certainly playing a big factor in this game, as players just can't seem to get those long kicks in front of goal. Terrible kick in by Richmond, and Parfitt with the ball. Another shot at goal.
Is this his third shot at goal?
I believe. And it looks like he is.
Oh, slotted it through. He's going to have an absolute game today. He is going to absolutely tear the Richmond defenders apart if he continues to play like this.
Geelong starting to get away with it, pushing the back by Dusty on Gary Ablett. Razor, another word to Dusty. Dusty's not happy.
He's like, how are you calling these on me? I never get these called on me.
Good tackle.
Dalhouse with no prior opportunity. Ball up.
Knocked down straight to Geelong. Richmond getting away with the ball now. Back out of defensive 50.
See, Richmond seem to be struggling. They need to go back to the game that they're really good at, which is uncontested possessions and plenty of disposals. They seem to be really trying too hard to belt it down the line far. This is where Dusty Martin's going to come in really well. He's good at the contested possessions. He needs to use those powerful hips to shrug off defenders. What a fantastic kick. Marlion Pickett picks it up, has a bounce, kicks a goal.
And there's Marlon Pickett with his second goal for today. But don't you just love to see Dustin Martin and Gary Ablett playing against each other? It's fantastic, that contest. It'd be one to watch today.
That came down straight away from Dustin Martin. He was the reason why they got that goal. He managed to intercept that mark, kick it exactly where he needed to. It was fantastic to see that forward tap it down, and then Marlon Pickett pick it up, have a bounce within the forward 50 and kick a goal.
Beautiful
you can't
goal.
see a better passage than that. They're playing like Hawthorn, aren't they?
They are playing like Hawthorn now. It's turning into a contest. Geelong with a 13-point lead as we are about 20 minutes into the first quarter. Another ball up. Geelong getting away with it. Clearance by Geelong.
I believe that. Well, what a one-handed mark by Patrick Dangerfield.
And
kicks it forward to the forward pocket to a 2-on-1. One-hand pickup. And it looks like handball through. Touch behind by Gary Rowan. It's an interesting choice there.
A fantastic boot by Dangerfield to get that into play. Around the body, check side. Probably about a 45-metre kick into the goal square.
Interesting choice there to Parfitt again. This is his fourth shot on goal and it's only the first quarter. If this continues to happen, we might see a bit of a runaway here by Geelong. Parfitt with his fourth and it's only the first quarter.
Parfitt is on fire today. Fantastic effort by Parfitt. This may be shades of Geelong back, I believe, 8 years ago when they kicked 33 goals against Richmond.
I believe Chris Scott wouldn't be more happy with this is going. I wonder how Dimmer is what Dimmer's thinking right now. A fantastic handball game right there by Richmond. Unfortunately, the Geelong defence was swarming way too much.
Just let you know, Gary Rowan is going off the bench and Brian Myers coming back on. And
Radigalia with the mark there to intercept, passing it off, but unfortunately just not good enough against the Richmond defence. Richmond belt it forward.
No one in their forward 50.
Oh, we've got Snags here. Snags has got to go. Okay, that's Castagna. Sorry.
Castagna with a fantastic goal right in front of goal. Easy goal. And Richmond starting to come back.
Any other time Castagna tries to go onto the run, he never really gets it very well. Gary Ablett with the clearance.
Punched away by Richmond.
His little master. He's just fantastic, is he not?
He's a fantastic star. He's definitely today's generation's greatest star. He's the GOAT. High tackle by Mitch Duncan. Not happy. Razor's asserting his dominance today.
It's probably the reason why he got banned from the real football.
And a fantastic mark by Broad. Intercept mark.
Interesting.
A lot of this across the face of goal marks.
That was a really interesting handball there to Liam Baker. You handball it to someone that's running into the person on the mark, you have to think, what is Richmond doing?
There's been a lot of that. Short handball straight to a player. Direct. There's Ablett with the ball. And a clothesline by Colin Jasny.
You've got to realise, this is not the WWE, this is the AFL. You do not need to clothesline people to tackle them.
But we have seen some interesting suplexes by some of the AFL players in past.
Oh, handballs it to Radigalia, who gets immediately tackled, and Vostom with the high tackle. I believe that is Mitch Duncan. Mitch Duncan's going to line up for a goal outside of 50.
That is a long way out. That's about 60 metres out. Smart move.
I believe he was
to Stevens.
Straight to Stephen, who, you know, I'm surprised he's playing today. He's been a bit unfit and unwell lately, but it's good to see him in the game.
Former St Kilda player, sorry.
And he slots it right down the middle. Couldn't have kicked it any better.
Playing in what I believe is his first grand final?
Might have been his... I did not play for the first grand final for St Kilda. Was he playing back then? Gablet, just absolutely gives him one of the best stiff arms you'd ever see in there. He's like, do not argue.
But Hooley
unfortunately
with a
turns
great
it over.
Intercept mark. Prestia with an interesting kick. Straight back into Geelong's forward 50. And a dropped mark. But it doesn't matter because Geelong kicks another goal by Radigalia.
Stava Radigalia. He has been absolutely fantastic for this team. Not only can he ruck, but he's good in the forward.
Now, a lot of people have been talking about the short quarters and how it's affecting the scoring. But it seems today that the scoring has not been affected by the shorter quarters.
Apparently, this first quarter is not short at all. We're up to almost 30 minutes. I regret making it 15-minute quarters.
It's 30 minutes of in-game, so the clock's a bit faster than normal.
And off the side of the boot by Richmond here, and it's behind by number 22, which I believe is Josh Caddy.
Long kick, straight to Stanley. Good catch by Stanley. See what he can do here. Goes outside to Duncan, who goes back inside.
It's a bit of a risky play here. Jet Buse, who's someone that hasn't been playing for Geelong very long, kicks it straight back to Rewalt, and that's probably the reason why. Rewalt decides to play on very quickly and kicks it straight into the forward 50. Turn over to Mark O'Connor. It's an interesting choice to he wants to kick it. But you need to take those marks there. I get that it's slippery and it's hard to mark the ball. But you need to take those marks inside 50.
Bit of back and forth. Edwards tied up and it's a ball up. Out of bounds by Bolton. Just sort of running himself out of bounds there. There's nowhere else to go.
Smart move, so that way they can reset the field. You see Castagna having a bit of a drink there. It's an interesting sight. I don't know why you wouldn't be sitting out in the rain when you could sit under cover. But he looks a little upset with himself. Maybe the scoreboard he's very unhappy with at the moment.
Here we go. Thrown in by the umpire. Tapped down by Richmond. Geelong getting away with the ball though. Good tackle. And I believe Hooley interfering with that mark. No prior by Parfitt. Let's see Tom Lynch on the bench having a stretch. He has had no impact in the game so far. And Geelong another run into goal. Open goal and Menegola with another goal.
They don't call him Menengola for nothing.
Sorry, that's his first goal. That's his second shot on goal. And tapped down by Richmond. Soldo's injured now. They are dropping like flies and a high tackle by Nankervis. Richmond are giving away a few free kicks here. Not coping with the pressure of Geelong's tactics so far. Good kick. Straight to O'Connor. O'Connor's lining up. Short kick. Good hands by Stephen. Will he line up and have another shot at goal? Slight angle at probably about 45 out. And goal post.
It's nice to see G Post handing themselves a second score.
Just a little bit more time, a bit composure from Stephen, and he would have had that shot, I think. Good mark by Stewart. This tactic by Richmond with their kick-ins is just not working for them. That's the third time now.
Turned over from a kick in from behind, and Tom Stewart kicking from the exact same spot that Parfitt was kicking from before from those turnovers, an immediate goal. I don't know what's going on with Richmond. This does not look like the Richmond of new. This looks like the Richmond of old.
It's a 6-goal lead now by Geelong, and we are still in the first quarter.
This could be a real getaway. It's good to see this is Richmond's at its finest. Shai Bolton almost had the opportunity there, but unfortunately no prior opportunity to the tackle. But in the forward 50, they get a good bounce here, and they might be able to get a goal. Tap down was perfect. Unfortunately, the Geelong defence is just too strong.
Another ball up. And Bolton tackled just about 45 out from goal. They just cannot get a play here, Richmond. Geelong too strong. Tapping out to no one in particular. Ablett, another good tackle.
I can't believe we're still going in the first quarter. This is going to be insane. Zach Tui with a fantastic intercept mark in the back line forward, in the back pocket. Rich Duncan, another fantastic. Oh, it turns it over immediately, and a goal to Jack Graham. What was he thinking there?
Fantastic play by Jack Graham. They're just making himself felt in the presence in the right time. And you can see here, just that intercept there, open goal, slot it through.
It looks like he was trying to handball to his teammate there, but they were not communicating correctly. And that just intercept the turnover, the goal. You can see right now the coaching staff is not happy with that. But Richmond still have a long way to go.
It's a long way to go yet, and we are still in the first quarter, sorry. It's been mostly dominant by the Cats.
Down there, straight down to a Geelong player who gets the clearance.
High tackle by
Bashahuli with a high tackle in their defensive 50. It's something that you do not want to do, especially when you're down as much as they are right now. 32 points. If they continue to have this type of, do these type of mistakes, it's just they're not going to be able to come back. Jack Stephen with the goal and slots it through.
Fantastic kick there by Jack Stevens, and it all set up from just a careless mistake by Hooley. You can see Richmond trying to give away a 50-metre penalty by running through the mark as well. Umpire just not giving it to them.
Said normally, I've been saying it all this time, umpires tend to put their whistle away for finals.
That being said, Razor Ray has been quite vocal today.
You can see right now the captain on the bench, unhappy with everything going on, which is a bit confusing because they are up almost 40 points.
And we're sitting at about the 40-minute mark of this quarter. A long quarter, a lot of stoppages for goals though, so that's what's causing the time to drag on.
Which is a little I don't understand. A lot of stoppages, which whenever the first quarter ends, I'm going to be very happy because this has been going on for 30 minutes. And look, I thought we set the quarters to 15.
I believe we
did.
We're
going to snap around the body! Fantastic goal by Mitch Duncan there. On the 52, it takes a lot of power to snap it around your body from the 50-metre mark and get a goal.
Beginning to think this first quarter's never going to end.
Might be just the entire game and we end it there. Winners, chicken dinners. But no, we have set out to do this and we're going to continue doing it. I just hope the actual grand final doesn't actually go for this long.
Well, I wouldn't mind it because the shorter quarters are certainly made for shorter games.
Take it straight into the pack, which is tapped down into right into the middle of the field with Gary Rowan taking it off, but unfortunately getting tackled immediately. No prior opportunity. That is cue to a throw up, and the rain is still pouring down. Do you think that's affecting Richmond? Normally they play very well in the rain, but it seems Geelong's doing very well at picking up the ball and within these slippery conditions.
I think it's a mixture of just not only the rain, but the conditions and the humidity of the Brisbane ground, the Gabba. It's a lot more humid than what they're used to. Playing at the MCG for a grand final. They've got a lot of experience recently with grand finals, but they're not used to the night and the humidity for this.
And Richmond just making silly mistakes here. They can seem to be frustrated, especially right now with almost being, what is that? Almost 40 points deficit. It was almost 10 goals.
There's
Was it
the end
8 goals in the end of the first quarter?
Geelong lead Richmond by 44 points.
And we have to really talk about what's going on here. It looks like Geelong are running with it, and they might be just because Gary Ablett's last game ever. And I don't believe Gary Ablett's actually almost as tall as what's his name? The Tom Hawkins. But in this game, apparently Gary Ablett's almost as tall as Tom Hawkins. I believe that is incorrect.
And I believe that Gary Ablett's got the bluest eyes I've ever seen. As we just look at the quarter time stats at the moment, Geelong leading in disposals, in contested possessions, a lot of kicks going their way. And you can see the free kick count, 8 free kicks to Geelong, 5 free kicks to Richmond.
Looking at the board here, the thing that seems to be the biggest thing and the biggest win for the Geelong Cats is their inside 50s and disposals. They are beating Richmond over that. But if you look on the opposite side, they are almost the exact same for uncontested possessions, contested possessions, handballs, marks, tackles, possessions even, hit-outs. They're almost square. It just seems to be that Richmond aren't capitalising on their forward 50 and able to score on goal. Just the Geelong Cats defence just seems to be working overtime at the moment, which contributes to the 12 goals that they have. You get one intercept mark and it goes straight back down to a goal.
And I think the Richmond defenders need to just stand up a little bit. There's been a lot of times where there's just been no Richmond defenders in the defensive 50, and there's just no reason for that. As we look at the major ball winners.
At Josh Caddy with 7 touches, but on the top there you've got Patrick Dangerfield and Mitch Duncan with both 8. Parfitt with 4 goals in the first quarter. He is on his way. He's already got what we now call what do we call it nowadays? When they used to score 10 goals.
A bag?
A bag, that's the one. This commentator might have had already too much alcohol and is losing his words. This is why it's not actual AFL. Marley and Pickett with 2, though, which is fantastic considering he's normally just on the wing. But with Parfitt, with 4, he's on his way to kick an absolute bag. You don't see 4 goals in the first quarter these days. 12-5, 5-3, 33-77. So what do you think Richmond need to do to come back from all of this?
As I said before, I think Richmond's defence needs to really stand up, and just the midfield game, just the follow-on from the defensive 50. There's been a lot of mistakes from the defensive kick-out of Richmond's part straight to Geelong. That's contributed to, I believe, 4 goals from Geelong. So you take that away, the contest a little bit better, a little bit closer. The other thing they need to focus on, Richmond, too many free kicks, just careless, reckless free kicks.
And it's not just the free kick counter might be 5-8, but it's the meaning behind the free kick. You know, you get the accidental holding the ball, the accidental high. It's the stupid free kicks that Richmond have seemed to be giving to the Geelong Cats.
And just the moments in the game that they're giving the free kicks. Like, there's been a few kicks right in front of goal that have just turned this game around, and Geelong have really capitalised on that.
It looks like the boys are about to come out for the second quarter.
And the second quarter's underway now. Razor Ray starting off.
Throwing it up again. Within these wet conditions, I can understand why he's throwing it up rather than tapping it down. Tapping it straight down to a Geelong person, but deciding that they just not going to take the ball today. Slipping out, that was almost a throw, but look, Richmond's defence, this is a better Richmond defence already. Look at this. This is a bit of the vigour that we would normally see within Richmond, but unfortunately there was just too many Geelong people within the midfield there, and they swarmed them and have won. That was almost off the ball. I did not see him have possession.
There's still too many moments there where Richmond just needed to capitalise on those tackles and just team up a little bit better, capture the ball as Dangerfield kicks another goal.
We can see why Dangerfield's a star of this game too. Able to take that chaos, make it beautiful and kick a goal.
Tap down to no one in particular. Dusty scrapes the ball. High tackle by Grimes. Another clothesline.
Another silly mistake, too close. Bashahuli, once again, that's 2 mistakes within 5 seconds of each other. You can see right now why Richmond's losing. They're making too many mistakes, especially within their back half. Fantastic kick forward. Gary Rowan kick it straight into space. That is every forward's dream, kicking in front of them, straight in front, and marking the ball. Gary Rowan from about the same position that everyone else has been kicking, but the wind seems to be picked up a little bit there, and we got it behind.
Gary Rowan
But at this,
not accustomed to kicking at this end of the ground, not realising the wind's going in the opposite direction.
which makes sense. I mean, Gabba's pretty. Again, we've talked about the conditions at the Gabba, which is slippery conditions, which normally suit. And once again, a kick out turned over. This has been one of the biggest issues Richmond's had in this game.
Hooley with a good punch, but this terrible kicking in by Richmond.
And finally, throwing the ball that has actually been caught, but once again, a kick in that is just not high tackle. Again, a stupid free to give, especially within their back half. Richmond are definitely flustered.
Geelong have Richmond's number here. There's no answer from Richmond. They're playing the same strategy, and it's just not working for them.
Oh, the captain not being able to kick a goal. That is G Post's third score for this game.
Just a bit flustered, Selwood. He's been quiet this game. Another play on by Broad, and a different strategy, kicking into the middle this time. But another mark by Stewart. Geelong have this set up, and they just are dominating from it.
It just seems that maybe Broad needs to be taken out from that kick-in role, because he is not capitalising on the position of kicking it out, and he keeps turning it over. And once again, that turnover has created a goal for Geelong, who are now up
58 points. My math,
which is almost 10 goals. They're up almost 10 goals, which is unprecedented.
10 goals at the start of the second quarter is just tremendous effort by Geelong here. Again, no one in Richmond's defensive 50.
Broad was good enough, and he finally decides to pay his dues of all those turnovers and goals to intercept mark. Toby Nankervis taking a mark inside the full, almost within their sort of about 70 metres out, but unfortunately kicked it straight to Zach Tui, a turnover. And that's been happening a lot this game too. Richmond have been turning over to Geelong all game.
And a strange kick by Tui, and it goes out of bounds. No one able to get a hand on it.
Maybe it was a bit of an Irish kick, you know, it's a bit bent the other way.
And you just said the Geelong player not happy with his kicking performance there.
I don't know why Geelong is unhappy. If I was on the bench at this lead, I'd be like, alright, pack it in, boys, Richmond's done.
And you just see there on the screen, Tom Lynch off the field again. He has had no presence in this game. I just wonder if there's a nagging injury there that we're not aware of.
Something maybe in the back of his neck. Maybe he needs something. But that was a fantastic pressure kick to the forward, and Gary Rowan slotting that through. Absolutely fantastic from Geelong there. Why not kick it forward and have that space where you know those small forwards are speedy and fast? We already know that the defence for Richmond at the moment seems to be slow and sluggish. So Gary Rowan picking that up and kicking that goal, I mean, we've seen it already. Absolutely fantastic to see. Geelong are on top of this. A great game to give Gary Ablett on his way out.
And as I said before, just again, no one in Richmond's defensive 50. They're all pushed too far forward to pressure in the midfield. But these costly turnovers and just not getting back quick enough is costing them goals.
I'm just starting to think, is this going to be the type of game where we run it away? Are we going to have to give almost a game where it's like a mercy rule? Because Richmond just seems to have already given up.
Just going to think that the developers of this game may have a slight inkling that they want Geelong to win this game.
And as a person that is completely impartial, I'm okay with that. What a fantastic mark by Luke Dalhouse.
A nice grab by Dalhouse to Ablett. Nice passage of play here so far.
A little master. Look at this passage of play right now. If Reece Stanley would have marked that would have been absolutely perfect passage of play, kick it forward, but unfortunately these wet conditions have made the ball so slippery that it's hard to mark.
Geelong have not really shown many signs of struggling with the wet though.
I think throwing the ball by Stanley there, that's finally something that Geelong, a mistake that Richmond need right now.
And can Richmond capitalise? They've kicked it backwards. A bold
into
strategy.
Nowhere.
But a very open wing.
Just it seems to be that Geelong have always just pushed all their people forward, which I guess makes sense. And Daniel Rioli with a high tackle, it's mistakes like that we don't need right now.
It was starting to look like a good passage of play from Richmond. And a kick in.
I believe that was Tom Lynch's first touch for the game.
I believe that may have been Tom Lynch's first touch. You are correct. Here's Hooley and Gary Rowan over the back.
Fantastic contested possession right there. Gary Rowan seems to be playing very well this game. Apparently Tom Hawkins is that confident that he decides to kick directly over his head, and that might have been a mistake because Dion Pressier had watched that ball in flight.
Here we go, Astorby with a good mark. Kicking it backwards though. Luckily Broad gets hold of it. The passes to Hooley. Hooley bumped off the ball, but still manages to hold it. Tom Hawkins throwing the ball. I haven't seen much of Tom Hawkins today.
He's been present in the forward, but hasn't been getting many of the numbers on board. You got to remember that sometimes the players don't have to have the numbers to have a presence.
That's right.
And he has been a presence. But Parfitt's been holding the ball, and he's been someone that's been playing very well today. So I'm surprised to see that he was being caught in the middle of the field there with holding the ball.
Let's see how Richmond capitalise on this. A kick outside to the wing. No one in particular. And Geelong taking the ball away. Another great passage of play from
Guthrie kicking it forward to no one there. Parfitt is by himself. I mean, he handballs it over to Estava Redigalia, who's got a easy goal there. Drop punt, about 45 degrees angles out in the pocket. If he
15
needs a good left to right here, and he does it. Absolutely fantastic.
A fantastic passage of play there from Geelong. And again, these costly turnovers from Richmond really costing them. And Geelong just capitalising.
We have almost a 12-goal deficit here. 70 points. Richmond, this is your time to turn it back. And fantastic passage of play. That's all you need to do. Get a absolutely fantastic clearance, a kick in front of the forward, and about a 20-metre goal out in front. Jack Riewoldt should get this every single day, which he does.
And that should put a little bit of pressure off of Richmond. They really need to start playing more like this, and Riewoldt needs to start getting a bit more of the ball. Those passages of play are fantastic to see.
And it all comes down from the midfield too. And if the midfield are not doing their job, the forwards aren't going to be able to do theirs. And Geelong's midfield has been tearing it up today. And once again, this is exactly the reason why I said the midfield needs to do it. Tom Hawkins with his second goal?
I believe that's Tom Hawkins' second goal. Yes, second goal from Tom Hawkins. Another fantastic player of the game.
Look, Tom Hawkins is, whilst he hasn't been having a much, on the game with disposals, those two goals have definitely helped them. And whilst they're still 70 points up, Richmond can still come back. Richmond have come back from worse.
That is true, and it is very possible that Geelong probably playing a little too hard too quickly and may wear themselves out.
Fatigue's definitely going to happen, especially in like weather like this. It's cold, it's wet. And Marley and Pickett, and then another stupid mistake by Richmond. And the little master decides to kick it straight into the middle of the field and into what was about 2-on-5 there. It's an interesting choice by the little master, but then they decide to pick it up from the ground.
Good bump by Richmond.
It's good to see that Soldo's in with a broken leg.
He's doing quite well. Obviously, that broken leg is not affecting him at all. A good clearance by Richmond here. A strange kick to no one in particular. But Rioli
that was a
gets
very
hold
good
of
kick
it.
by Daniel Rioli. As Rioli was the one that took the mark. Soldo decided to kick over his head to Rioli. And this is Rioli's chance. This right there should have been a 50 there by encroaching. But decides to kick it to the goal square with Liam Baker. For some reasons in the forward.
Liam Baker with his first shot on goal here.
It's interesting to see a player nowadays kicking a drop punt, but I am all for it. A defender getting a goal. Liam Baker, fantastic. I think that might be his second.
No, it's his first.
No, it's his first. My apologies. I have not been paying attention.
This kick again. Quick reminder that the commentators just to hydrate.
Yes, I have been hydrating every time someone does it.
I think I've hydrated a few more times. As we start to see a glimmer of hope from Richmond here.
And that's what they need. They need more clearances and turnovers from Geelong, but Geelong seem to be very adamant at the fact that they are trying to narrow their mistakes, but capitalise on the mistakes that Richmond make.
And Geelong with another clearance here. Good kick by Myers to no one in particular, but Richmond again taking the ball, running away with it, kicking to no one in particular again.
And it seems to be the case right now. They seem to be doing a lot of clearing kicks. No opportunity there. Shane Edwards with the tackle, back to the ruck, trying to tap it down to Razor Ray, which is interesting. I know that Richmond trying to establish their connection with the umpires, but you got to realise this is a game. They're not going to have any favouritism. This is not real life.
If you just see the Ablett just looking a bit puffed.
He is old.
That is true. He is old. Cochin getting a bit rough there.
Which is normal.
Right on the boundary there. Ablett tackled down.
It seems to be a bit of a scrap at the moment. Richmond kicking back into the middle, which is an interesting choice. I would have kicked it forward myself personally, but they don't seem to have hindered themselves too much. And Rewalt kicking it, marking it right in front of goal once again. This is the attitude that Richmond need to have. And what did I say before? Don't count Richmond out. Never count Richmond out.
That
is and another exactly goal for Rewalt.
Right. Rewalt with, I believe that's his second? Yes, his second goal there. Fantastic work there by Richmond. It all started with that passage of play with Dusty Martin, just that little tap on.
That's what they need to do. They need to go back to basics. They don't need to do anything fancy. They don't need to do anything pretty. Just do this typical Richmond ugly ball. And once again, clearance right in the middle. But unfortunately, Trent Concha caught doing a stupid mistake again without handling it. And Harry Taylor, someone that we haven't called too much today, is Harry Taylor. With an interesting...
You've got to believe Harry Taylor's last game as well. He's had a long career here. A fantastic player of the game.
Brian Myers there with an absolute perler of a contested mark. Kicks it straight into the middle to Gary Rowan, another person that's been having an absolute stellar game today.
Gary Rowan lining up for a shot at goal. About 50 metres out.
Oh, he shanked it, but on the mark. Oh, Gary Ablett unfortunately was unable to mark it on the line there, which would have been an absolute perler of a mark for the little master, and it's something that I believe attributes to the water. Maybe the water's starting to actually make the ball a little too soggy and hard to handle.
Another kick out. This is a better kick out by Richmond this time, as the ball goes out of bounds, last touch by Marlon Pickett.
I don't know about you, but I used to believe in the 360 rule. If you held the ball long enough to be able to do a full 360 spin, that should be holding the ball. But nowadays, the rules have changed. It's just the state of football today. A check side, almost by Tom Hawkins, who would normally get that, but the wind contributed to him to getting it behind. Now, if they continue to do this, Geelong, they're just going to run away with it.
It's just been an absolute dominant performance by Geelong here. As we see Richmond with another kick out. Good passage of play here so far by Richmond.
Normally Richmond would mark that, but Rioli with the mark, a kick to Prestia, who takes the mark, who handballs it off. An interesting handball to someone that had three Geelong players on him. But look, Richmond have the win there with Estavo Radigalia actually managed to get the ball and bring it down for no prior opportunity. The umpire throws the ball up.
And I've just lost visual of the ball for a second there, but Henry, no prior opportunity.
Lost the visual of the ball?
We're a bit far from the ground. We're watching it from our monitor. We're not actually allowed to be at the ground due to Victorians not being allowed into the state, so we've had to watch this on our monitors.
An uncontested mark there by Gary Rowland. He's going to run it forward, takes a bounce, kicks it forward. Bit of a shank there, but I don't believe that's going to hinder them in any way. We're going to have a throw-in. It allows Geelong to reset the field, to pack more people into the forward line there. So we'll see how this plays out.
And once again, Richmond not having defenders back in their defensive 50.
And this is what happens when you swarm the fields. This is what happens when you don't play 6-6-6 properly. And Radigalia almost getting a goal there, but getting completely stopped. But another turnover by Richmond's defence to Joel Selwood, who manages to kick it to Stanley on the 54, who decides to play on, which is an interesting decision. He should have been able to go back and go for a goal, and then another stupid mistake by Richmond's defence.
Floston almost catching his own handball there.
Stanley deciding to kick it to Menegola.
Fantastic mark there by Menegola, who I believe
you don't see that much anymore.
Third shot at goal.
Ooh, it's a bit of a rough kick there by Menegola, shanking it off the side of his boot. Now you got to ask yourself: is that just, a a little bit of laziness because they're so far in front, or do you honestly believe that that was the weather once again contributing?
Oh, look, I think you've got the time, you've got the lead. Just take your 30 seconds. You've got 30 seconds to play. A deep breath, and then have a shot at goal.
Also, we're talking about that once again. Richmond's kick-in, absolutely atrocious. Straight to a defender who has tapped it down, and that's created another forward 50 stoppage for Geelong.
And we've got to throw in right next to the behind post. Geelong very well set up here for another goal. Basher Hooley taken down, no prior opportunity as the umpire throws the ball up. Richmond with the ball, again, no prior opportunity. Bit of a 360 there. Again, we're talking about the holding the ball rule. Something that's had a bit of controversy this year.
Look, I understand why the umpire decided not to call that one there specifically, but again, a stupid mistake from the Richmond defenders. Liam Baker taking high tackle there by Gary Rowland, who during this game is one of the people you don't want to be giving that mistake to because he's going to kick it through, and he's kicked his third or fourth goal today.
Gary Rowland's just another player from Geelong who's really stood up today. He's had a fantastic game today.
Yes. Gary Rowland, originally from the Swans, decided to come to Geelong for the opportunity to be able to play in a grand final, which in this state is doing very well. And look at that perfect kick, picks it up, kicks it to the middle, and almost to the little master. Who's someone we haven't been calling much today?
And who's that?
That would be the star himself, Dustin Martin. I feel like he has not had much opportunity today, but Daniel Rioli with an absolute fantastic pickup. Does anyone want to tell him that it's raining outside? And kicks off the side of his boot and gets a goal.
Rioli just playing as if the rain had no effect on him there. Fantastic shot at goal there, and another goal by Richmond.
But the clearance, once again, Geelong's, who manages to get to the Radigalia, who passes it off. And then they kick it forward. Brian Myers picks it up. It gets absolutely bumped down to the ground. And Richmond managed to get it out of the back 50, which is something they need to consistently do more of. Because if they don't have a presence in the defence, they're going to lose this game. But kicking forward, fantastic mark to Ivan Soldo, who's going to take a shot, I would assume, at goal. Plays it on! Oh my God! You don't see that anymore from the Ruckman. Ruckman don't kick goals and play on. But look, fantastic goal by Soldo.
All set up. The four attacking Richmond players all on their own set that shot up perfectly. Soldo with the shot. Just a quick play on and a perfect shot at goal. A high tackle there by Tom Hawkins as Vloston now has the ball in their defensive 50.
I believe that, yes, they're on the defensive 50. And as you can see right now, Geelong have already swarmed back, but Marlian Pickett has decided, no, I'm just going to ignore the defence and marks it. Within the centre there, Jaden Short, who's also been pretty quiet this game. Very short kick to Nathan Broad on the wing, who's now looking forward. He's going to lower his eyes, handballs it off, which was a bit of a hospital handball, but manages to pick it back up and gets bumped off the ball.
And a good tackle there, holding the ball by Luke Dalhouse, just couldn't get away with it. And an interesting kick there, dropped, and this is a chance for Geelong. We've got three Richmond players.
And there he is. There's the star himself, Dusty Martin, the only person to be able to do something. Kicks it straight down the guts to Jack Graham, who plays on, kicks it straight to Ivan Soldo, who takes a mark about 70 metres out.
And a shot inside by Soldo, and a great march by Lynch. Here's Lynch's first shot at goal, and you've got to think he's got a chance here.
He does have a chance. He has been pretty quiet all game, but kicks it straight down and goalpost again.
These are the shots that Lynch just has to make. He has to take these goals and convert them.
At the moment, it's exactly double the amount of points Geelong are up, 64 to 118.
Geelong have slowed down though, and Richmond's starting to mount a small comeback here.
But Richmond, you never count Richmond out. Doesn't matter how many points they're down. They seem to always play well. Jack Graham marking it just on the outside the 50. Tapped down by the defence there. And it looks like Daniel Rioli's gone down with a bit of an injury. He looks a little sore coming down. But Patrick Dangerfield turns the ball over by holding the ball. Number 23. Just outside 50. Just inside 50 from about 40 metres out. And kicks the goal. Kane Lambert.
Fantastic shot at goal there by Kane Lambert. Really need to convert that, and really just a little bit of inspiration for Richmond here.
They need to capitalise on this, the goal. And it's just interesting to see that because Tom Lynch hasn't been... Dusty is a star, isn't he?
Pushing the back by Jack Henry. The stress is starting to get you Geelong here.
Maybe they're starting to worry that Richmond is starting to come back. They've only got to get back 48 points, which is something Richmond can do, but not by kicking goals like that.
And as we said before, just a composure. It's a lot of stress. It's the big stage, a little bit smaller stage than normal, but it's the big stage nonetheless. And you've just got to take your time, compose yourself, and take those shots.
One thing we've got to remember too is this is the first grand final outside of the Victorian borders. This is at the Gabba. And what a fantastic turnover there. Shai Bolton does not waste that effort and kicks a goal.
Fantastic play there by Shai Bolton. Just stealing the ball right out of the Geelong player's hands there. And this is the shot of goal straight in front from about 30 metres out.
Is it all starting to get in Geelong's head now? Maybe they got a little too complacent with the lead that they had, and now that they're starting to slow down a bit, maybe the fatigue is happening. But look, at this stage, Richmond are not out. Do not count them out. They can come back.
Richmond starting to mount that comeback here, as it looks like, was that Lynch in the middle there having a tap down?
It's one thing I've noticed, because Tom Lynch hasn't had much opportunity to do much within the forward 50, they've put him in the ruck.
Interesting choice there by Richmond. It's played off though. It was Graham. Great mark there, and he's going to have a shot at goal now.
I would say about 50 out. He's going to got he's pretty much straight in front, but he decides to kick to the top of the square, which is an interesting choice. Maybe he just did not have the leg on him. High tackle by Josh Caddy.
Richmond just getting a little bit complacent there. Just needed to have a shot at goal there, and it could have converted to make this a 5-goal game. As the kick back from Geelong straight to Richmond. As
Geelong kick it up. Straight down the guts. Taps it down. Not a lot of marks, but Gary Rowan once again tries to handball it off to someone behind him when he should have been able to take it off and run with it. But Patrick Dangerfield bumped the ball. Jaden Short, high tackle in there, forward 50. Another silly mistake by Richmond. This is something that they don't need right now as they were forcing a comeback.
I tell you what, Razor Ray's done well to run from one end of the ground to the other to call that play.
Look, I've been to the mind that Razor Ray is actually Goku and can do instant transmission. But that was absolutely another goal by Parfitt. I believe that is his 5th goal for the game. He's been a little quiet in the second quarter here.
9 disposals and 5 goals by Parfitt. You've got to think that he's a chance for the Norm Smith today.
Possibility. We would think normally that would go to someone like Dusty Martin or Patrick Dangerfield. But look, another clearance by Geelong, and that is the first half. That's the second quarter over. We're at half time. Geelong lead Richmond by 47 points.
As we enter the halftime break here, you see the scores 12-5-77 to 19-10, 124. Geelong leading, as you said, by 47 points.
And the one thing that I'm looking at the stats here, the biggest thing is the clangers. You can see Richmond have made far more mistakes than Geelong, as well as the kicks. Now, in the games like now, handballs are not going to give you much leeway. You're going to be wanting to kick the ball off the ground in your possession, especially right now. You want to have... It's going to be hard to get the ball into your own hands. And I think that's the big way that Geelong have been winning this.
As you just look at the stats here, Geelong leading the disposals, leading the uncontested possessions, contested possessions, slight lead on the kicks, handballs dead even, slight lead on the marks there, and Richmond leading the tackles, as you'd expect with how much Geelong has had the ball.
The other thing that you need to look at too is the difference between inside 50s, 27 to Richmond, 41 to the Cats. It's probably the reason why that they were leading, but the difference... With Richmond coming back that much in that second quarter, I have to give the win to Richmond that quarter. Even though Geelong are up, Richmond definitely decided that they were going to tuck their heads in and actually have a go at it.
And as you see, the major ball winners here, Stanley and Dangerfield both on 14, Broad with 12, Cochin, Martin and Duncan with 9. It was just Martin been quite quiet today, but he's got 9 touches.
Which is interesting because you haven't seen him much of the ball. Normally he'd be up forward kicking goals. But he's played a bit more of a defensive position today. I believe they've decided to put him on Parfitt, which would make sense. But he has not stopped him with 5 goals to Parfitt, 3 to Rowan, and 2 to Stewart. And on the other side, you got Riewoldt with 2, who kicked that in the second quarter, Pickett with 2, and Caddy with 1.
And just Rewald's influence in that second quarter has just changed a little bit of the game for Richmond. Put them
It's
back in the
only
game.
it's 7 goals and 5 behinds that Geelong lead by. But again, never count Richmond out. You never know. And we're going to go to the half time now.
We're just going to have a quick halftime break, and we will be right back. All right, we are back from our halftime break, and we are about to commence the second half.
What do you believe Richmond need to do to come back from this?
Sorry, I was just hydrating there. Richmond need to have a more attacking approach, but need to be a bit clever with their attack. As I said, the defense has been a little bit better this quarter. As you can see, the scores. Geelong's still kicking another 7 goals in that quarter, but it's a big difference from the 12 goals they kicked in the first quarter.
That is true. But the one thing that you got to realize too is Richmond have also kicked 7 goals that quarter. But the big difference is Geelong kicked 5 behinds to the 2 that Richmond did. So Richmond have been a bit more accurate in front of goal.
And you just think Richmond's the passages of play that they have had have led to some fantastic goals, and if they can keep that up and remove the plague, I would say, of terrible kick-ins from those kick-ins from behinds, Richmond may have a chance. You can never count Richmond out.
You can never count Richmond out, but the two things that I have noticed from there is their forward passages were better. That's something that they continue to do and maybe even amp up in the third quarter and second half of the game. The other thing is too, they minimalize the silly mistakes that they were making in the first quarter. Whilst there was still a couple of them, they weren't as frequent as they were in the first quarter, which I think contributed to them being able to kick 7 goals in that first quarter and the second quarter from the comparatively to the first.
You are correct. They have played a much better second quarter than the first. Now let's resume the AFL 2020 Grand Final second half. As Razor Ray holds
Toby
the ball
and Nankervis and Stanley in the middle. Tap it down.
Richmond got hold of the ball. We're having a bit of technical difficulties here.
It looks like there's a little bit of static coming, and that would just come from the rain itself. But we're going to have Toby Nankervis taking back, and it seems to be that the play itself is lagging a little, and I believe that might be just, as you can see down the bottom of there, it said network quality problems. I would contribute that to the rain itself.
Yes, the rain seems to be affecting the network quality here. We have some technical difficulties here. I do apologise to our viewers at home. As Geelong getting away with the ball. A shot at goal.
It looks like it's cleared up, and it's come back to Radaglia kicking a goal. And I believe that's the first goal for the second half of this game.
They're just having a slight technical difficulty here. The rain seemingly affecting. The rain may have gotten stronger at the Gabba.
It looks like it might be clearing up a little bit now.
It's Radaglia. Fantastic shot at goal on the run from about 40 metres out. Not in doubt. Never in doubt. Fantastic start from Geelong here.
That's his third goal for this game too, which is something you don't see much from a ruckman forward.
Tap down Geelong with the ball. I believe Radaglia again bumped off of play.
They put the whistle away for finals.
And a ball up here. Dusty with a bump and tackling while he does not have the ball as Geelong run forward. Another shot at goal. And that is Selwood's second goal, I believe.
Nice to see a captain doing something for his team.
Sorry, first goal.
Second shot on goal.
That's right.
Stanley taps down almost to himself, but gets it to Radaglia, who gets the clearance. Bumped clearly really, really hard, but there's no chance for a holding the ball there because he was bumped with the ball.
And Richmond with a chance here, and a high tackle by Caddy turns the ball around as Geelong another chance at setting up a passage of play here.
And I don't know, does he have the leg for this?
He takes a shot off to the side, across, and another switch by Geelong here. Henry, play on to Guthrie.
Some mind games here with Richmond. Guthrie has been pretty quiet this game as well. He kicks it to nobody in particular, which is a bit of a dangerous chaos ball. Jack Stephen trying to pick it up here. It's good to see Jack Stephen lost some pounds there. He's looking pretty slim.
So, yeah, Jack Stevens has slimmed up from his time at St Kilda here. Stabbing shot by Richmond and a behind by Cochin there.
You got to take those opportunities, Richmond. If you don't take those opportunities and get goals, that's what's going to make you lose this game. And you know that. Maybe you would have been better off passing it to someone that was clearly in better position for the goal.
And passed off. Cochin handing it off to Rewalt. And Rewalt, a beautiful goal.
And that just come from the defence in Geelong again, not paying it off. Patrick Dangerfield getting in Cochin's face there, and Cochin's not having any of it.
As we said just before, Cochin just needed to handball that last one off, but it's okay because he learnt from his mistakes, and Rewalt with a fantastic goal there, as we see Menegola just directing a bit of flow.
That's what we call a cheeky 7-point play. Maybe it was done on purpose to get the points up, but you never know with Richmond. They might have decided to play it up a little bit, and you can see Dusty there having a bit of a chat to his person that's on him, having a good old chat, just letting him know where he belongs in the echelon with Dusty up the top and whoever you are down the bottom.
Cochin looked like a push in the back there, as we see Dusty a kick around the body.
And Dusty's just using those hips there. Fantastic kick by Dustin Martin. He is an absolute star.
But
what a specky! Oh my God! By Jack Henry.
What a
Absolutely.
fantastic specky there.
It's something that has to be up there for almost mark of the year if it hadn't already been taken.
You gotta love AFL for the moments like that. Fantastic specky. And
really interesting kick by the captain. He was Joel Selwood. I don't know what he was thinking. They kicked straight to Jack Riewoldt in front of goal. Now you can't make those mistakes, especially when you got a lead like this. You can't get comfortable because you never can out Richmond, and that is Riewoldt's third or fourth goal.
Riewoldt, fantastic passage of play there. Already 2 goals in this third quarter, and we are 8 minutes into the third.
That's the thing. You never count out Richmond because, once again, they get the tap down, but unfortunately they don't get the clearance. Passes it off to Joel Selwood, who kicks it forward. And I believe that is Tommy Hawkins, who gets his third goal.
Just holding back and picking up the crumbs of that marking contest and pays off with a quick goal.
That's the thing with key forwards. If you're not going to win it in the air, you need to win it on the ground. And in another forward passage by Geelong, fantastic kick to Luke Dollhouse. You see Gary Ablett running off to the wing there, but he decides to kick it forward. Well, not kick it to the man that clearly had an easy passage to grab.
As Richmond
taps down. This weather's really starting to affect the kicking of the ball. Oof. Close.
And you just think Caddy may have just put a little bit too much sauce on that one as he was trying to kick to his teammate who was in an open goal there.
Might have been a little bit of an overkick, but at the end of the day, these are things that happen.
And another shot at goal for Richmond here. Chance at goal. Good scrubbing off the tackle. And Bolton with a fantastic goal there. Shrugged off the defender and kicked the goal.
Is that it? That's his second goal for the game, and he decides to give a little bit of a shove to the Geelong defender there to remind him, we're not out of this yet.
It is correct. Richmond, you can never count them out here. As Geelong
But
another
Patrick
clearance.
Dangerfield with another clearance, but kicks it to nobody in particular, and it's dangerous to give it to someone like Cooley, who gets held up, but let go. That's an interesting decision there, but fallen into the back, but nothing called.
Interesting passage of play there. Hawley effectively dropping the ball and still managing to get away with it.
A little bit out of the bounds by Toby Nankervis. That's a very interesting call there.
I think the umpire's just taking matters into their own hands here.
So with the rock, you have to tap it behind you. You can't deliberately tap it out of bounds.
That is true. That is true.
And a behind there by Mitch Duncan. I believe the wind took that. It was looking pretty online, and the wind decided to curve it to the right. But unfortunately, this is what happens. You just the wind and the weather. Oh, almost another mistake by the kick-in by Richmond, but luckily there was no prior opportunity.
And you just think the rain's starting to take more of an effect here as the ball very slippery, very, very hard to get a grip of. As Richmond, another passage of play here. Bumped off the ball, Geelong. A strange
handball by Jack Stephen, but that does not matter to Parfitt, who gets his sixth.
Parfitt with a bag here. Parfitt's definitely got to be man of the game here. 11 disposals, 6 goals.
4 contested possessions, as well as 3 tackles. He's definitely in position for the best and fairest on the field, or the best player on field. Kicks it straight into the middle of a pack, but Shane Edwards picks it up like there was nobody else's business, but gets it behind.
And Edwards probably just needed to compose himself a little bit, kick to another player to try and set up for a goal there.
Or even take another few seconds, because he had the time. Jack Stephen deciding to kick it back into the middle. It's an interesting decision there, and that is picked up. That is picked up by Cochin, who kicks the captain's goal.
The captain, a beautiful goal there off the side of his boot as he just bumps the Geelong player off the ball there.
45 points in it, and at this stage, another clearance by Richmond, who gets an unfortunate throwing the ball, an incorrect disposal, but decides that the player that tackles kicks it to nobody. And then Richmond decided to kick it forward. Riewoldt, a little bit hesitant there, push in the back.
Just needed to put a little bit of pressure on, maybe not just dive down for the tackle, as Geelong now setting up to get out of the defensive 50. Good kick, mark by O'Connor there. O'Connor kicks it out to the wing to 2 Richmond players. Cochin with a beautiful mark. Can he set up? Kicks it, switching it over to 3 Richmond players, but Geelong just running away with it there. There's the Little Master.
Little Master runs, kicks, goal.
Goal. Beautiful goal there by Ablett.
And you can see why he is considered one of the best in the game.
That's his first goal for today.
But what an important goal it is.
And a high tackle there by Martin. And Ablett just making his presence felt. He's been quiet today.
But that's the kind of mistake you don't want to make there. But Patrick Dangerfield turning it over to Liam Baker. Bit of an errant kick there. Something that Dangerfield doesn't do very often.
That is correct. Now, Baker kicking it to a pack and Selwyn getting a hold of it, but not able to get away with it.
No prior opportunity. You see Razor Ray throwing the ball up there. Nankervis taps it down. Unfortunately, Graham wasn't able to get away with it. No prior opportunity. That calls for another throw up.
And you see Razor throwing the ball up once again. The tap down, won by, I believe, Geelong there. No prior by Selwood.
They seem to be getting stuck in this sort of position here, which is something that Richmond don't need. They need to be able to clear the ball out. They need to get this ball moving fast.
And as you say that, Geelong getting away with the ball again. A good clearance by Geelong. Here's the Master, Little Master.
And Stanley clearing his own ball. Little Master held off the ball. It's an interesting call there. Not called. Should have been holding the man.
As you said, though, the umpires holding the whistles off during the grand final.
Takes it straight forward to no man in particular, but that is in Richmond's favour. As you can see, bumped off the ball.
I believe that was
the
Rioli.
Ball has been Rioli. No, I don't know. It was Daniel Rioli. No prior opportunity. Interesting fact there, to be bumped and the ball falling out of his hand is not considered holding the ball because he decided not to tackle the man. It's a play on. Basher Hooley kicks it forward 50.
Marked by Blake.
Turned over. And this seems to be an underlying issue by Richmond. They seem to try and boot it forward, and it's overturned by the Richmond defence. Cam Guthrie decides to kick it back forward to the middle, and Jack Stephen kicking it is now taking a kick backwards. Geelong seem to be playing backwards right now.
And it's just cost Geelong there as Caddy with no prior opportunity. A very risky play there. Caddy almost getting away to kick a goal there.
If that defender was not there, that would have been an absolute definite Richmond goal.
That is correct. As
Dangerfield picks the ball up and gets taken down for no prior opportunity tackle.
As we said, you cannot count Richmond out as they are 51 points down now. Brought the lead down to 51 points here. The tap down. Tackled. Holding the ball by Castagna.
What I find very interesting is that they've seemed to have absolutely put Tom Lynch in the ruck, as he is playing ruck down a defensive area, which is strange for Richmond. They should definitely have him up forward where he's best played. That is a stupid position. That was a stupid decision by O'Connor there, who gets taken down for holding the ball. And Josh Caddy gets a shot directly in front for about 20 out.
Caddy, beautiful conversion there. What was he thinking there? There's just no need to play on. You're in your defensive 50, 15, 20 metres out from goal, and it just cost them a goal.
Just need to take a second, have a breath, look around the field, lower your eyes, do not play on, do not step off your line. But Geelong with the clearance. Kicks it, but no mark there. Hooley picks the ball up off the ground, kicks back towards the middle of the field. No mark, unfortunately. Dangerfield picks it up, goes to kick it. That should have been incorrect disposal or holding the ball, but it was not called.
Good defence by Richmond there to stop Geelong from getting away there.
Interesting to see that holding the ball is not being called much this game, which is something that has been scrutinised this entire year.
And Rioli there with a play on. Pushed in the back by Shai Bolton because I think that was an unrealistic attempt at a mark.
Mitch Duncan decides to kick it towards Cameron Guthrie, who has ramped it up a little bit this quarter. I've seen him playing a bit more this time. He kicks it towards the middle, and it looks like his own man spelled the ball, but was lucky enough to turn it over to Richmond.
And here we go. It looks like, is that Pickett?
Shai Bolton.
Sorry, my mistake. As you said, yes, Shai Bolton, a fantastic goal there. Richmond's starting to come back now.
That's Shy Bolton's third goal, fifth disposal. He hasn't had much of an impact on the game in the disposal realm, but at least he's kicking goals.
That is correct. Fantastic goal there by Bolton. Richmond's starting to put the pressure on Geelong, as Geelong with the clearance there. And a beautiful mark by Hawkins right on the 50-metre line.
You have to think Hawkins is definitely within his range here.
Absolutely, as he lines up for a shot at goal. And he snuck it through. Beautiful goal by Hawkins there.
Beautiful left to right there. Absolutely on point. Fourth goal for the Hawkins.
Tomahawk there with a beautiful goal as we go back to the centre. And a Richmond clearance there.
They just boot it forward into a pack. And fortunately, Richmond's Toby Nankervis manages to get the goal, somehow managed to tap it down, run to the forward 50 and kick a goal from the 50-metre line.
Could not believe my eyes there. Nankervis taking the ball out of everybody's hands and running through like no one's business to an open goal.
What a fantastic handball there. That is a goal for Luke Dollhouse. And that right there is a great response by Geelong.
As we're starting to see a bit of a shootout here.
This games reminds me of when the 80s used to play, where no defence was needed and it was only forwards that played.
As we see it back in the forward 50 for Richmond. Lots of tackles going on here. 2-on-1 there. Geelong getting away with the ball. A long handball. Nice handball passage of play here. The big tackle there. Another big tackle as no prior opportunity for Rowan.
If I necessarily agree with that, Rowan had absolutely ample opportunity to handball off, but I guess that's the reason why I'm not an umpire.
That is correct. You are not an umpire. You are a commentator. There we go. A good bump there by Geelong.
Harper kicks it forward, and you can see Jack Stephen running onto the ball. There should be a goal for Geelong.
I don't know. I think that might need to go to the arc. That looked like it may have hit the post. As we just look at the replay
Stephen
now.
Turning it up this game. There's a beautiful kick to the advantage of Geelong, who Jack Stephen picks it up and just sneaks it in for a goal.
I think we need to see another angle of that. Here we go from the reverse angle. Let's just see if it scrapes the post. Oh, I tell you what, it's tough to call. Let's see what the arc calls. As we see Dangerfield.
For some reason, Dangerfield sits down and is disappointed with the fact that he wasn't one that kicked that goal.
And the arc has called it a goal. So we go back to the centre. Centre throw.
Wedegalia taps it down to Menengola, who incorrectly disposes of the ball, and that's a free kick to Toby Nankervis.
And Nankervis now from the centre. Good long kick to the forward 50, but straight to Buse.
Turnover. Interesting forward 50 kick there. You would think you would kick it a bit more, you would kick it closer to that way that you can get a bit of a better forward passage. But now Geelong have complete control over the ball, and they're just passing it to each other. Plenty of uncontested possessions there, but Gary Rowan running off the line there. He mustn't have seen it, his defender. Interesting decision there to run off the line and get a holding the ball call.
Gary Rowan just with the blinders on, getting a bit selfish there, as a good strong mark by Hooley in the pack.
This is the one thing that they need to do. What a fantastic handoff. Kicks it forward, but unfortunately Rewalt does not have the legs for that, who decides to take it out of play, pushing the back by Tui. I think Tui was a little bit aggressive there. He was a bit excited by the fact that Rewalt was going to get it out and try to get in for holding the ball, but Rewalt should kick this because he's...
And he's just offline there, behind by Rewalt. A very hard kick though from that corner right on the 50-metre line.
Especially within these conditions where the rain's heavy, the wind's going to take the ball. It's just one of those things where you realise that Rewalt is a great player, but that's a really hard kick to make. But fortunately, what a goal from the pocket by Prestia!
Fantastic effort by Prestia there. Never in doubt there. Good knockdown to then get the ball and the goal to convert. As we now have what I believe is a 44 point margin.
It's about that. Fantastic effort there by Wedegalia to tap it down to Menengola, who gets the clearance to Gary Rowan, who takes a contested mark. But unfortunately, I just don't understand why he decided to kick it to Guthrie, and then Guthrie decides to play on and kick it off. You have those 30 seconds, you take those 30 seconds. And I believe we're getting towards the end of the third quarter here. And it looks like Richmond have decided to play kick to kick, and Vlosten, very interesting, shanks it off the side of his boot, and the little master gets a shot in the forward pocket.
As he
Decides to, and that is the reason why he is the little master. He's unselfish, he's unwavering, and we've got a little bit of a glitch in the middle here.
Interesting. Interesting. So we're just getting stuck there on two of his players. And Delhouse with a beautiful mark. Will he hand it off to Ablett? Decides not to. Kicks it back into the middle. Knocked down by Richmond. And another clothesline by Soldo.
Interesting point of play there to see that three players decided that they wanted to play on each other, and then the game fixed itself.
It's just an interesting tactic. I don't know whether it was a taunt on Geelong's part, just taunting Richmond there. It hasn't paid off for them, though.
And now it looks like Richmond are just playing a little bit defensively here, but unfortunately Dalhouse read that ball too well in flight and marks it, kicks it directly to the Little Master. He would have to be within range here, the Little Master.
Little Master would kick it from about 55 out, 60 metres. He's going to line up. Long kick.
What a mark by Brian Myers, right in within the goal square. He's right in front. This is 100% a goal for Geelong, and that is why he is the best in the business, ladies and gentlemen. Goal by Brian Myers, and Gary Ablett gets the assist.
Fantastic passage of play there by Ablett, setting up the beautiful goal by Myers.
Absolutely, 100% unselfish by Gary Ablett there. We all know he could have kicked it, but he gives an opportunity to the young player and Brian Myers to kick one of his first goals in a grand final.
And you just got to think that Myers has got a fantastic future here with Geelong. Fantastic forward.
I can see Gary Ablett thinking that, and you've got to get that confidence up in those young players.
That's exactly right. Myers will be very appreciative of the chance that Ablett has given him there.
Back to the middle, and you have to think the third quarter must almost be over as Stanley taps it down, but straight down to a Richmond player, Marlian Pickett, who gets tackled, no prior opportunity.
As we go through another throw up, and the tap down.
Tap down was down 2, and I believe that is number 23, who boots it forward to Gary Ablett, who's been placed in the forward pocket. The Little Master picks it up, high tackle, and that is Grind Myers once again, handballs it off. An interesting decision, because he could have kicked the goal, trying to be too unselfish to Tom Hawkins, who unfortunately doesn't have the opportunity to get the time to kick it off. He looks a little upset, Tom Hawkins. He pushes the camera away.
It's the grand final. You've got to take those shots. You can't just hand it off. It's nice to be a team player, but you've got to take your own shots at goals sometimes.
Understand that Graham Myers wanted to probably pay it back for Gary Ablett and give it to Tom Hawkins, who wants to kick a bag this game. But you need to kick those goals, young fella. You need to kick them.
That's exactly right. As we go back to play, another tackle by... And is it Stevens there, just not being able to dispose of the ball there, and it's another throw-up.
We've got Radagalier, and I believe that's Tobin and Curvis in the ruck there, but Gary Rowan was incorrect disposal. Managed to get tackled, but not get rid of the ball correctly, but an instantaneous turnover by Richmond to Menengola. Menengola decides to kick it forward, tries to get it to the Little Master, but he wasn't able to get to the ball. It was an interesting take there. And then we have a mark within forward 50 by Mitch Duncan, about, I don't know, right in front of goal, about 30 metres out.
A fantastic mark there by Duncan, as it looks like, is that Cochin just having a word to him?
A bit of a chuckle, bit of a like, you're not as good as you think you are, but then Mitch Duncan decides to give him a bit of the middle finger and kicks it straight through the guts.
That is exactly right. Not affected at all by the chat there by Cochin. Cochin's words not affecting him at all as he slotted it through, and Geelong just starting to just seal it, I think.
A bit of a pull away there. Should have been a 50-metre penalty. But it looks like the 50-metre penalties have been taken away for this game to make it a bit more fair for Richmond, which is fair. They need that. And Joel Selwood having a seat, looking a little disappointed in himself for not being on the field there for that goal, as Razor Ray throws it up. We've got Reece Stanley. We've got Tobin Ancover. Stanley taps it down, but Richmond gained the possession. No, almost there, but Menengola takes a high tackle.
Yes, a high tackle there by Menengola, as Richmond now a short stabbing kick. Another long kick. And it looks like, who's got that? Oh,
another G post by Castagna. Meatball missing the post. Or hitting the post, but missing the goal.
And I think a little bit of the wind affecting that shot. Interesting choice of a Black Arps,
Bill Sarves.
Bill Sarves to play on there. Turned over to Richmond and another turnover to Geelong. Out of there.
But Geelong's defence is too strong. Fantastic
Correct.
mark by Gary Rowan. If Gary Rowan might be up there for best on field as well. He's been having an absolutely perler of a game. Unfortunately, though, it's been turned over, and it looks like it's going to be kicked forward. We have a chance here at a goal as number 28 picks it up off the side of his boot. Kicks a goal by Shy Bolton, 29, sorry. That's his 4th goal of the game.
Shy Bolton, fantastic passage of play there. I believe it kicked it into open space, then got it himself to then kick the goal.
It's a bit of leg speed there. I mean, the defender would have peeled off him because of that. But it looks like another hole up in the middle there. But Richmond, too strong. As Jack Stephen, I apologise for burping in the mic. As Jack Stephen picks it up and plays it on to Patrick Dangerfield, who has miles ahead of him, boots it forward. Marked by Tom Hawkins, too strong for a one-on-one contest. About 45-degree angles out at a 25 metres. He should get this.
Ablett just casually walking across in front of Hooley there, and Hawkins slots the goal. Never in doubt, that one.
Tommy Hawkins with the bag of 5. It's better than what he did last week.
That is exactly right. He's having a perler of a game here.
And Patrick Dangerfield looks like he's been placed back where he should be playing, right in the middle of the field. And it looks like that was a big contributor who passes off to Gary Ablett. About 50 metres out. This is definitely within his range. He should just go for the goal. The old fella should definitely have a shot at goal here.
And he's had a shot at goal right on the siren.
Kicks on goal! Kicks on the mark!
Goal by Gary Ablett!
Goal by the little master!
Little master with a goal there right on the siren. Fantastic passage of play there as we've got Geelong leading Richmond by 63 points as we go into the 3/4 time break.
Now, that's just not a pinnacle moment for Gary Ablett in his career. I know he's won so many All-Australians. I know he's had how many Brownlows. But his final game, he kicks it from about 52, straight down. And I know Graham Myers decided to try to go for the goal mark there to try and help it through. But Gary Ablett, what an absolute star.
He is definitely the greatest of the modern era.
And look, this is the reason why Geelong are winning. You can see right now they're up about, almost 30 disposals. They have close to 16 inside 50s ahead of them. They have 20 more uncontested possessions. They have an entire 25 contested possessions. They have 30 more kicks. You can just see, look, and the differences between marks and the tackles don't matter because Geelong have had the ball more than Richmond, and of course Richmond are going to have more tackles. It's just this is just being run away by the Cats now, and I don't know if Richmond can come back from this.
And you just look at the inside 50s there, talking about the dominance there, 58-42. Geelong just absolutely dominating in their forward 50.
And it's just, I would be surprised to see, with the way the quarters have been this game, if Richmond can come back from this. That Geelong are 10 goals in front. If Richmond can kick 10 goals, Geelong can at least only have to kick 2 or 3. And that'll keep ahead. But look at the major ball winners here. Patrick Dangerfield with 20 touches, and the closest they've got is Trent Cotchin and Nathan Broad at 15. Dusty's got the 12, but that's pretty quiet for him. And Parfitt with the 6 goals and Tomahawk with the 5. It's interesting to see that Parfitt can kick 4 goals in the first quarter, but only kick 2 within the last 2.
And you just look at Broad, major ball winner there for Richmond at 15 touches. You've got to think a lot of that is from the behinds that Geelong have been kicking, as Broad has been the major kicker for returning the ball into play there.
And those all count as disposals. The kicking counts as a disposal, and every time they miss a goal, which is 13 times, I would assume Broad kicks that back in.
So that would be 13 touches just there for Broad. So not good to see Broad as a major ball winner.
And it goes to show that the midfield for Richmond have just not, come up to the task for Geelong, who's their major ball winner is Patrick Dangerfield, but there's no surprise there.
Absolutely not. No surprise there. As you see, the goal kickers Parfitt, Hawkins, and Stephen, leading goal kickers 6, 5, and 3 for Geelong, and Rewalt, Bolton, and Caddy with 4, 4, and 2, respectively, for Richmond.
As we enter the fourth quarter, as they call notoriously, the premiership quarter.
And we'll just see if Geelong can hold on or if Richmond can mount a comeback here as we start the fourth quarter.
You never count Richmond out, but I do believe Geelong have run away from this, and they have from the beginning. As Toby Nankervis taps it straight down to Patrick Dangerfield, who gives him a do not argue, and unfortunately was unable to give it to them, but fantastic second effort there by Patrick Dangerfield to manage to get the tackle and turn it over, who kicks it forward to Harry Taylor.
And a tackle there, Gary Rowe, no prior opportunity in their forward 50. And I believe that looks like Tony Hawk.
Yeah, I believe that right there is the staging artist himself, the one that likes to be an actor rather than a player of football. But that's okay. We're commentators. We are impartial. Who has decided to kick it forward and turned over by Tom Stewart, who decides to kick it into the middle and turned over to Prestia. Prestia kicks it forward and marked by Shane Edwards, who takes a second to think about it, kicks it forward, and unfortunately no mark in the forward 50 there, turned over as it's now smacked back down to the middle as Hooley kicks it forward and Kane Lambert takes a mark at about 51 metres.
And a short kick from Lambert goes, his player cannot mark it as a high tackle there by Edwards. As the Geelong defender setting up now.
Taking his time, running down the clock a little bit. Kicks it, an interesting play there. Kicks it to Jeb Hughes, who kicks it to an interesting position on the forward 50 line there. But Guthrie takes a tackle, takes down Hooley, and number 38 decides to wrap up Prestia, and it's another throw up by Razor Ray, who... Number 22 from Geelong, which I believe is Mitch Duncan, kicks it to the mid, which is overturned by Nick Floston, who kicks it forward and almost marked there. You need to take those marks. At these stages, you need to take those marks. The more possession that Geelong have, the more chance they have for winning.
And Hooley there with another high tackle. Just reckless play there by Hooley. And then Hooley, again, getting the ball.
Now, can he capitalise on this one for a change? And he does. Kicks it straight to Shane Edwards. Shane Edwards has been getting a lot of the ball already this fourth quarter, which is good to see.
Nankervis now with a handball over the top of his defender. Again, getting the ball there. It looks like Floston long kick to Lambert. Fantastic mark there.
About 45 out. Has a slight angle in front. He should at least, if he's not confident in kicking the goal, he needs to kick it to the top of the square.
And he's a long kick. It looks good. Goal by Lambert. A fantastic passage of play there by Richmond to get the goal. First goal of the fourth quarter, I believe.
It's the second goal for Lambert. Surprised they didn't go to look to see if the defender marked it on the line, but we're going to throw up anyway. As they decide as the tap down goes to a Richmond midfielder, as they kick it forward as a good clearance by Richmond. And this is what Richmond need to do. They need to clear the ball more often, but not pass it immediately off. They need to take that time. They need not to stop playing on and take their time to pass it off. As Cam Guthrie takes a mark in the back 50.
Guthrie with a kick now. No one able to get a hand onto it. Passing off now. Geelong with the ball. A long kick. Richmond defender in front. Not able to get the mark here.
And there's one thing that I've noticed this game. There's been a lot of up the guts play, not a lot of play down the wing. A lot of old school players. Radigalia takes a fantastic mark in the middle.
Passes to Dangerfield. Great mark by Dangerfield. Long kick by Dangerfield. And
Tomahawk with his 5th.
I believe that's his 6th.
That is his 6th goal for the game. My apologies. And you can see Little Master giving, Hawkins a little bit of a clap there, going, I'm going to pass the crown on to you, mate, because you are the reason why these games are going to win. And can you imagine next year, when Jeremy Cameron is lining up next to Tom Hawkins, Geelong's forward's going to be hard to beat.
That is a dangerous forward to think about for next year. And Geelong are looking like they're running away with this. Good shape for next year with Cameron joining the lineup.
And it just makes me think. I know that the aging team that Geelong is, they're going to have plenty of young stars coming up with it.
It's
plenty.
The age just not seeming to be a factor for Geelong here. As a long
so this
kick.
is the great, and a little bit of a contest there, and handball off, and Jack Rewalt kicks it directly into the post. It was an interesting thing there to kick off his left when he's there. Should have at least tapped it off his right.
But I believe they're the player that passed it off to Rewalt probably should have just had a shot at goal himself there, as Soldo takes an intercept mark, lines up for a shot at goal, chips it in, and Castagna with a mark about
And this is
20 metres out, I believe.
20 metres out, about a 45-degree angle. This is exactly what Richmond need to do. Castagna
Beautiful goal.
backs himself in and kicks a goal.
As Richmond now take the margin down to 57.
Another ball up there by Razor Ray and tap down to Richmond, who's a fantastic long handball to the forward 50 of Richmond. As you can see, they're going straight forward, and a kick by Cochin, goal. That is exactly what Richmond need to do right now. They need to get as fast as they can. Perfect. That was a perfect clearance ball. Great forward 50 entrance. Great sort of scrappy playing, and a great goal. And a great second effort by Trenton Cochin there, who is decided if the rest of the team's not going to do well, the captain will.
Just took matters into his own hands there, Cochin. As you see, it's just a beautiful shot from his left and a goal. Never in doubt, that one. A beautiful passage of play from the centre clearance. And that is what Richmond need to do. Those centre clearances are dangerous when Richmond play that effectively.
And I know that they're only 50 points down, but we're only 8 minutes and 45 seconds into what we're supposed to be a 15-minute thing, but it looks like we've still got about 30 minutes in. But Geelong, fantastic clearance by, I believe that was Patrick Dangerfield to Gary Rowan, who's been dangerous this game, who takes 2 bounces and kicks a goal!
And again, the Richmond defenders nowhere to be seen in that passage of play. Rowan, easy goal there.
14 disposals and 4 goals, 7 of those which being contested, but the big thing there is 6 tackles. I would say Gary Rowland's up there for best on field at the moment too, as Parfitt's become pretty quiet this sort of second half.
Parfitt had a strong first half, but yes, as you said, very quiet, as Rowan has definitely stepped up.
Consistent throughout the entire game.
Did you see another angle there? Beautiful celebration there by Rowan. Looking at the Geelong bench there as we get ready to set up for the centre bounce. Here we are. Razorwave throwing the ball up.
And they've put Tom Lynch back in the middle with Estava Radigalia. And no clear clearance yet, but Richmond take possession of the ball and clear it out, and a good mark by Shai Bolton, who immediately plays on, kicks it forward, and it's interesting to see that Riola decides to tap it down rather than go for the mark and try to take it out of the field. And as you can see right there, you've got to make sure you hydrate.
I'd just like to point out that Astraby was injured in that passage of play there when he was taken down to ground.
So what you're going to make sure you do is hydrate.
That is exactly right. You've got to make sure to hydrate. Is Dusty Martin throwing the ball out of bounds?
Weird to see Dusty Martin's not having much of a an
effect.
What's it called? Yeah, on the game. He's been pretty quiet this entire game, but Josh Caddy decides to take the ball, turns it over, but immediately turns it back over to another Richmond player who backs himself in but kicks it behind. Josh Caddy's trying his hardest to take over for the forward line that's been pretty quiet this game and misses the goal, and Dusty Martin gives him a bit of words of encouragement there. It's all right, mate. We've already won 2 premierships and played in 4. Doesn't matter if we lose this one.
Colin Jusney there with a play on kicking it to a contest, as now Stewart with an uncontested mark there. Again, Richmond's defence nowhere to be seen.
It just seems to be a Richmond thing. They seem to like to push forward, especially this game, as Geelong could seem to be playing kick to kick in the backfield there, trying to play it around to make sure that, you know, the attacking players of Richmond aren't anywhere to be seen. But look at the defence now, getting around their players, and a good tackle there by to Jeb Hughes, who has no prior opportunity, so we should have a ball up. Razor Ray throws it up.
Beautiful tackles there by Richmond.
Another fantastic tackle.
Another ball up, tap down to a contest. Another tackle by Geelong, and Nankervis with rough conduct. Razor Ray just asserting his dominance again.
He might get and it looks like he might have actually got a report there. He's been reported for rough conduct, which you don't want in a grand final.
You definitely do not. Everyone putting the absolute 100% in, but you do have to be careful. as Selwood with a kick straight to Guthrie.
And they just seem to be playing pretty aggressive for someone that's still up about 60 points. As they kick it to the guts of the play, and Jeb Hughes takes a fantastic mark. Even though it was uncontested, there's a little over his head, and he decides to kick it straight down. And the defender there pats it down, number 22, which I believe is Mitch Duncan, kicks a goal for Geelong.
Beautiful.
And look, I don't want to call it now, but I think that might be it. Another goal there by Mitch Duncan, 3 goals. I think that's all she wrote. There's still 10 goals up.
As the famous Rex Hunt would always say, the fat lady has not started singing yet.
Yibbida yibbida.
And a long handball there by Richmond. And we've got, was that? Rewald.
Oh, what a goal by Rewald! Decides to take the matters into his own hands. Check sides off the side of his boot for his 5th goal.
Rewald's had a fantastic game. 5 goals by Rewald here. Just look at this. Takes the ball into his own hands. Beautiful kick, never in doubt. Slots it through the middle.
And you have to think, what's going through their mind at the moment? Because Richmond are trying their hardest to come back from this. Is it going to be there from their forwards, or is it their midfield that needs to arc it up? Because the defense is not doing much at all. Their forwards obviously need to up their game. Is it going to get to the point where they're starting to flood their forwards down the back?
You just need their midfielders to really stand out here.
And that's a good start there. If they were able to shrug that off, but unfortunately Mitch Duncan kicks it forward as it rolls and rolls and rolls, and you can see right now, Tommy Hawkins holds him off the ball. Tommy Hawkins runs it out of bounds. We're going to have a throw in.
As we just
And
see
the Geelong forward 50.
Lynch back on the bench. He spent a lot of time on the bench tonight.
And look, why would you have 3 of your best players on the bench? You've got Tom Lynch, you've got Dusty Martin, and you've got Prestia on the bench. Why would you have all 3 of them on the bench?
Interesting strategy there by Dimmer, as Richmond, good clearance there from their defensive 50. Rewalt, play on.
And he's going to have a bounce. He's going to have a bounce. That's his first bounce. That's his second bounce. And he kicks a goal!
Rewalt, beautiful goal there. Never in doubt. He had a paddock to play with there as he kicks his 6th.
What an absolute bag. You don't see this these days. You don't see a high-scoring game of 168 to 217 these days. But that's what happens when you play AFL Evolution 2.
That is exactly right. As we go back to the Richmond forward 50, Richmond with the ball against Geelong, stealing the ball as we look at Little Master getting jumped on.
Oh, I was going to say that was almost a fantastic mark by Jaryd Shaw, but unfortunately it was unrealistic attempt, and the Little Master gets a hold of the ball.
Jaden Short there, just a little bit reckless there as Little Master.
You can see Gary Ablett telling them to come forward, but unfortunately Tom Hawkins didn't get the memo as Gary Rowan gets wrapped up, no prior opportunity. That's a good ball up for Razor Ray to do. Who seems to be everywhere, who seems to be all three umpires on the field.
I believe high tackle there by Menegola. Razor Ray probably racked up the most amount of kilometres ran by any person on that ground.
Interesting to see Richmond now playing a bit defensive. Fantastic smother there by Parfitt, who's been pretty quiet this second half, but that is the effort that Geelong need. And a fantastic intercept mark by Graham Myers there, who's about 60 metres out, who plays on immediately, and the defender decides not to run onto him. Kick straight to Colin Jashney, who, what's he doing in the forward line? That is going to be a tough kick for a defender to make.
Colin Jashney in the forward 50, and he slotted it through.
Defender, not defender, does not matter in these games. Colin Jashney decides to go, you know what, fuck it, I am not going to be a defender today. I apologise for the profanity, but I'm going to kick a goal.
When you've kicked 35 goals in the game, it's nice to share it around, and it's a defender kicks a goal there. Colin Jashney, beautiful shot at goal. As we go back to Richmond's forward 50, bit of bumping and shoving.
Look at that. If Richmond had that type of attitude the entire game, it would have been fantastic. But look, they've been shrugging off and holding off the ball there. Interesting to see that no holding the man have been called this game. It's something that has been, I guess the umpires have decided, we're not going to call this game.
That is correct. As we go out of bounds in probably about 60 metres from the Richmond goal there, as we see, is that...
Radaglia wants to take a rest.
Radaglia just having a rest. He's had a fantastic game today, so he well-deserved rest there. He's not happy though for some reason.
Interesting to see Richmond now playing a bit defensive. But look, they've been shrugging off and holding off the ball there. It's something that has been, I guess the umpires have decided, we're not going to call this game. It's something that has been, I guess the umpires have decided, we're not going to call this game.
That is correct. As we go out of bounds in 60 metres from the Richmond goal there, as we see, is that...
Radaglia wants to take a rest.
Radaglia just having a rest. He's not happy there for some reason.
maybe he's not happy with the ruck that he's had. Like he's been pretty much run around by Toby Nankervis all day. It's been Reece Stanley that's been really turning it up in the ruck. Radigalia shouldn't be upset though because he's had a fantastic forward game. As Richmond take a shot on goal, and it was very, very close to being out on the full, but it's offline. It's a behind.
Snags there, just sneaking it just inside the behind post there for a behind as Henry plays on along the boundary. Dangerous kick. Is that Rewalt? Rewalt with a goal straight down the middle. Beautiful goal by Rewalt there.
What did we say? Never count Richmond out. That's his 7th goal.
7 goals by Rewalt. Fantastic effort there.
They are only 6 goals down, but that is a high tackle by Tom Lynch. And you got to be careful there, Lynchy. You've been a bit aggressive this year. I know that people try to paint you as a good guy nowadays, especially within the media. But you got to be careful.
You just don't stick your neck out too far. As we see Richmond with another passenger play here.
We're all good for people taking what a great kick. And Rewalt, you know, any other person plays it on, but what a mistake for Rewalt!
Rewalt, open goal. No one in sight and misses just to the left. Probably need to take a little bit more time, bit more composure as Geelong kick it in. Long kick. And I believe...
That is a huge mistake by Rewalt there. That is something that you do not want to make of. When you have the goals right in front of you, you are clear of any defenders within at least 20 or 30 metres. You run into that goal square and you kick that goal, you get that guaranteed goal. You do not take a shot 30 metres out, especially within the rain.
And here we go, another ball up in the Richmond half as Geelong getting away with it now. No one in sight for Geelong. Hawkins kicking as Nankervis. Good defence there by Nankervis. Kicks into a pack, knocked down by Geelong. Looks like Radigalia with the ball.
Radigalia, he takes a bounce and shows what Rewalt should have done in the first place.
Ooh, that's the fat lady singing. I think it might be all over here, folks. 26 minutes gone at the 4th quarter.
Radigalia taps it down to Patrick Dangerfield, who manages to get it off back to Radigalia. And Liam Baker manages to get the ball, but gets tackled as a no-pro opportunity. Throw it back up. And as you can see, that is another clearance by Geelong. As the Little Master picks it up, takes a run, takes a goal. And it's a goal by Gary Ablett!
Beautiful goal there by Gary Ablett. Beautiful passenger play. Never in doubt. He is the Little Master.
Showing us the reason why he should play on for another year for Geelong.
As we go into Richmond's forward 50 now. At the back of the pack, looks like Rewalt around the body. Goal by Rewalt there.
Absolutely fantastic snap by Rewalt there, playing it off the side of his body, showing us that tall forwards can snap off their body.
And a good answer there by Richmond there, but I think it may be all over. It's a fantastic effort by Geelong as we are 182 to 235. What a game with these 15-minute quarters.
Menengola was just holding the ball a little bit too long there, a little ambitious, as Richmond decided to play it on. Dylan Grimes kicks it back towards the middle of the ball, middle of the field, but unfortunately unable to take the goal as Stewart gets the crumb and passes it forward 50 as Tommy Hawkins marks it on the 50.
And Tommy Hawkins, do you think he would take this shot? He's in range.
100% within range. He boots it forward straight to it as Brian Myers taps it down. His own man. High tackle by Jaden Short. That was a silly mistake by Richmond.
Just careless, very reckless there by Edwards, I believe. And it's cost them another opportunity at a goal here for Geelong.
Tough shot from this angle, but being from this range, Colin Jasney, being a defensive person, gets his 2nd goal. Looks like they're sharing it around today.
Colin Jasney just deciding, I'm not playing defence anymore. I'm not seeing much of the ball in defence. So I'm going forward where the ball seems to be spending a lot of time.
And look, a halfback tends to spend a lot of their time in the midfield. I'm not surprised that they've pushed him forward. He has been pretty big help within that second half. They might have pushed Parfitt back because he's been having a bit of a rough time. And Dusty's standing there trying to, contemplate life. What am I doing? Am I in the right team? Should I maybe go to Geelong? They seem to have an endless supply of money.
As we go back to the centre now, Lynch and Radigalia in the middle. Lynch with the ball bumped. Still managed to get the handball off.
And it seemed Lynch might have just threw that out a little bit, and the umpire decided, let's just play it on. But Gary Rowan decided, you know what, I'm just going to take a mark here, pass it forward to almost a little master. The ball's a little slippery. His old hands might be calloused, but passes it off to number 40, gets bumped off the ball. Hooley just goes, nah, get away from me.
Hooley with a clearance kick, and Richmond on the wing. Good kick here to Dusty Martin. Dusty Martin sets up a handball over the top, straight to a player who's been tackled straight away, as Richmond, a lot of tackles against them here, still managing to get the ball forward. Geelong with a kick.
Unfortunately, a bit of a turnover there, as Geelong turn it over to Shane Edwards, who manages to kick it forward to Ivan Soldo, who's about 48 out, and for some reason decides to kick it off to Daniel Rioli, who's 51 metres out, who again kicks it, plays it on to try and get the Dusty Martin within there, and Colin Jasney's like, I'm going to play defensive once again instead of forward, kicks it off to Tom Stewart. Tom Stewart does not take the mark, gets taken in the tackle, and Daniel Rioli gets bumped out by Reece Stanley.
Colin Jasney there just deciding he's just going to have dominance over this quarter here, if making his presence known, presence felt, I believe.
Tom Stewart picks the ball up off the ground and gets tackled, but no prior opportunity. And you can see Tom Lynch trying to give Stewart a bit of a what's going on, how you going there, mate? But no, nothing's going to happen here. What a fantastic forward handball by Richmond, but I don't understand why he decided to tackle it. But look, unfortunately, Colin Jasney takes a high tackle, and Castagna gets a goal shot in the pocket at a very risky angle, but about 30 metres out. And he gets it. Castagna, very uncharacteristic, gets a goal from about 30 metres out on a very, very tight angle for his third.
Fantastic goal there by Castagna. As you see, set up, run in, and a beautiful shot at goal. Very,
very happy with himself. But I honestly believe the deficit's too high for Richmond to come back. They're just trying to lessen the pain.
We're at 9-goal deficit now.
Unless Richmond can kick 9 within the next 5 to 10 minutes, because I don't know how this time works, because it's 15-minute quarters, but we're at 33 minutes, 40 seconds.
You've got to believe that the siren is very close to going. As we go back to the middle, Lynch tapped down to, I believe, Pickett.
Who gets, Jaden Shaw gets immediately tackled, and Parfitt goes off, as I believe number 27, who I don't know who that is, comes on.
And another tap down for Richmond into a bit of space, but straight away tackled by Geelong.
And you can see Tom Stewart picks up the ball, has a bounce, takes a goal. It dribbles almost through, number 38. Soccers it through, Jack Henry. Soccers a goal right in front of goal.
Dribble kick didn't pay off, but the soccer from Henry pays off into a goal for Geelong. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Geelong have won the 2020 Grand Final. We're just waiting for the siren to sound.
Yeah, Richmond get a good clearance, though, towards their 50. Number 8 gets taken in the tackle, holding the ball, Dusty Martin, about 55 out. You would think he is in range, but he decides to take a shot instead because he's a star and doesn't like to hog the ball. Passes it back to the mid, gets turned over as Jack Graham takes a mark in the mid, passes it forward to no one in particular too, or almost a fantastic goal. Kane Lambert had the right idea, but I believe the wind was just a little too strong there.
Kane Lambert there not taking into effect the wind, and a behind there. Play on by Geelong here. Interesting that there are a lot of play-ons happening from the kick-ins.
The name we haven't called much today, Harry Taylor. You would think he would have a bit more of an impact to the game, but he definitely kicked it out on the full there as Josh Caddy takes the goal, takes the ball, kicks it forward, and Rewald takes the mark about 40 metres out at about a 45-degree angle. You would think a person of his calibre would kick this goal.
And he has had the shot and just slightly offline there. A little bit more composure from Rewalt. I think he would have had that.
I think he's just trying to rush the goal because they're so far behind and believe that they can catch up. He tried to play on a little bit too quick so they can go back to the centre bounce. But look, I understand where they're coming from. It's a little bit upsetting. He's probably a little shaken after this type of beating. Pitch Duncan taking a fantastic mark on the wing there.
Geelong have just been dominant right from the get-go here. And Tom Stewart with an injury.
Now that should definitely, he's definitely been reported for that. Rough conduct, and the person tackled was injured. I can imagine him missing the first or second game of the next season.
Very, very reckless there by Richmond. And Tom Stewart, you've got to hope that he's okay. As Geelong answer with a beautiful goal by Gary Rowan here.
Gary Rowan says to that person injuring his friend, you know what? If you're going to injure us, I'm going to just injure you more on the scoreboard instead.
That's exactly right. The best way to injure a team is by injuring them on the scoreboard. As Geelong now has hit 40 goals. Unprecedented in this day and age.
You can heal physical wounds, but you can't heal these type of wounds. If you beat a team that is this dominant by this amount, it's going to haunt them for life.
So we just wait now. The final siren moments away, surely.
As Razor Ray throws it back up, as Lynch is back in the midfield, is back in the ruck. And I just feel that maybe it would have been a better opportunity to put him in the forward line than in the ruck. But Dimmer has his reasons why he does things. As, oh my God, Dusty Martin almost gets a miracle goal, but it hits the post. G-Post has presented himself more times this game, as Dusty Martin looks a little frustrated himself as he let the back of his hair grow out.
Very disappointing there by Dusty. He had a good chance there as Geelong kick in, almost kicking it out of bounds, as Graham with an intercept mark at about 40 metres out, 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Should easily kick this. Fantastic goal by Richmond, but I honestly believe it's too late to have these type of goals. I think Geelong have just decided we're going to do whatever we need to do because we've still got a 9-goal lead. It doesn't matter what we do now.
That is exactly right. 10 goals leading by Geelong here as Rowan with a beautiful mark in a pack.
Does he go for this goal here to try to solidify himself for best on field?
Move it on. Looks like he's gone for the shot, top of the square. And the siren has sounded.
And it's the end of the siren sound, and Geelong have won by 9 goals.
Beautiful.
And then let's listen to the victory song. Fantastic effort by Geelong there. From the get-go, you can see that they were going to win this premiership.
Never in doubt was it, as Geelong, you see there, holding the Premiership Cup, celebrating, very happy there as Little Master. You believe that's got to be his last game here.
And what a way to go out too. Winning a premiership, even if he wasn't best on ground, that's his fourth premiership?
I believe it's his fourth, and you see, the first ever grand final played outside of Melbourne at the Gabba and a packed crowd during these COVID conditions. Geelong taking the victory as we look at the scores now. 30-17, 197 to 40-13, 253.
And we know where it's all been won, and it's good to see that Richmond have pulled back on the inside 50s, but they just did not win when it comes to scoring goals. At the end of the day, Geelong took it away with almost 40 more disposals, as well as the amount of mistakes that Richmond were making. Whilst they don't represent very well, you can see the clangers there at 143 to Richmond, 130 to Geelong. Look, at the end of the day, it's good to see that both teams came out to play, both scored high, but at the end of the day, the best person won. Now let's present the player of the match.
Player of the match is going to be Mitch Duncan.
Interesting choice. I would not have picked Mitch Duncan, but interesting choice. Good congratulations to Mitch Duncan for winning player of the match.
As we see Reece Stanley getting 1 vote, Nankervis getting 2 votes, and Mitch Duncan getting the 3 votes there. As we look at these stats, you see the major ball winners. Duncan, 25 touches there. That's probably the attribute that got him the best on ground. Dangerfield with 24. And as we look over, Cochin with 18, Caddy with 17, Edwards with 16. The goal kickers, you've got Hawkins and Parfitt, both with 6 each. Parfitt slowing down in the second half, and Rowan with 5, Rewalt with 8, Bolton with 4, and Castagna with 3.
Look, you can't deny the fact that Richmond came out to play. Rewalt kicking 8. as he was held pretty quiet within the first half as well. So to see him kick 8 the entire game is an incredible feat himself. You can't discount Richmond. They did very well for what they had, but at the end of the day, Geelong were the winners.
That is exactly right. As we look at the breakdown of the quarters, never in doubt by Geelong, really. The dominant force for this game, and they are the 2020 AFL Evolution 2 Grand Final winners. Thank you very much for joining us. As we will go to the chat now.
It has been an absolute pleasure to be the first ever, AFL Evolution 2 commentators for at least this channel.
Thank you very much for joining me, Jaryd.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Tangles.
Hope you've enjoyed the gameplay, guys. We'll just quickly go to Perfectly Normal has said, get the hooligans off the cricket pitch.
And I'm assuming has said that later ago, says he loves soggy balls.
Yes, I believe you commentated about soggy balls, and Rook was saying he loves soggy balls. Great to know there, Rook.
I believe this is going to be the first of many Evolution AFL Grand Final things where next year we will probably do this again.
I don't see a reason why not. I think the major games for the year, we probably do the Anzac Day game, all those sorts of marquee games.
I'm more than happy to do that.
Normal has turned the set over to the Indian cricket. We don't have the IPL, unfortunately. Sorry, we are the AFL channel here.
We are Foxtel, the Fox AFL chat or whatever, Fox Footy.
Fox Footy.
Not if you want to change over to Fox Cricket, you might have to find a different Twitch chat for that.
That is exactly right. I'm going to probably end it here now, and I'll probably be back after probably a half-hour break, and we'll play some other games. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone. Thank you, Jaryd, once again.
I'm always happy to do this type of thing. I had a lot of fun doing this. Might I add next year we might lower the quarter time?
Yes, maybe just reduce the quarters, maybe down to 10 minutes perhaps. Take that.
10 minutes might be good because that took 2 hours to do. But anyway, thanks for having us. And YouTube, I'm assuming when we eventually upload this to YouTube, hopefully you enjoy this too.
That's exactly right. For the people on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, thank you very much. That was the AFL Grand Final. Geelong taking the Premiership Cup.
Go the Pies!
Go the Pies!